risk management position. Enjoy a 4-day work week, great benefits like family health insurance, sick and vacation days, paid holidays, and NDPERS retirement. Apply today at the Lamore County website or call 883-5131 for more details.
Our success begins with you. AgriCover has professional career positions open for general assembly, grounds maintenance, and a custodian. This growing company offers competitive wages and amazing benefits. Visit the careers page at agricover.com for more info and to apply.
The best employees aren't scanning the want ads, but they are listening to their favorite radio station. In fact, radio reaches over 88% of adults who say they're likely to change jobs in the next year. Give us a call and let us help you find your next great hire.
To advertise on the Radio Employment Connection, call 833-917-4130.
Bufftown Bargains, the newest thrift destination in the Buffalo City. Now taking donations and consignment on Mondays and Tuesdays. The thrift store with a goal that gives back to the community. Now open Saturdays 10 to 2. Find Bufftown Bargains Facebook page for weekly updates and photos of newly stocked merchandise. That's Bufftown Bargains, where your dollar goes far.
Reach your summit with Kyle Smith and his staff at Summit Physical Therapy in Carrington. They offer treatment for pain relief, vertigo, wound care, sports and work injuries, as well as post-op and neurologic rehab. Summit Physical Therapy is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and in most cases, no referral required. So give them a call at 65.
Wilhelm of Jamestown is proud to announce our 2024 Huntington's Disease Fundraiser has once again raised tens of thousands for this noble cause. The 13th year of this car show and auction saw nearly 100 unique cars and some truly thrilling auction items. This event may only happen once a year, but Don Wilhelm is always here for you. With a wide selection of new and used vehicles and plenty of certified technicians, we're ready to help no matter the need. Don Wilhelm, your Heartland Chevy dealer. Together, let's drive.
Fly to Pets, Business Lube East, James.
And now, steering you towards great food and fun in our listening area, it's time for our dining and entertainment guide.
Want great food at a fair price? The Prairie Inn Restaurant of Carrington is your diner of choice. Located right by the roundabout on Highway 281 and 200. Great service, always clean, and breakfast is served all day. Call 652-3976.
Here's exciting news. The Corner Bar will temporarily close its doors for a bit as they finish up renovations to bring you an even better experience. And when they reopen, the Corner will have a fresh new look and a new name, Corner Bar and Grill. Look for their expanded menu on their Facebook page and stay tuned for updates. The rustic setting will draw you in and the food will keep you coming back. The Frontier Fort opens at 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday and their legendary prime rib is served on Fridays and Saturdays. Now hiring a cook and gift shop help. Call 252-7492 or stop by for an application. The Frontier Fort on the road to the Buffalo, Jamestown. The Accidental forecast for this afternoon, partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies with a slight chance of showers in eastern North Dakota and northeast North Dakota and western Minnesota. Upper 40s to low 50s for the high. East and southeast wind 10 to 20, some gusts to 30. Cloudy with a slight chance of showers tonight and a low in the mid-30s, south wind 10 to 15, some gusts to 25, and the wind will shift to the west overnight. Mostly sunny with a high in the upper 40s tomorrow. It'll be mostly clear tomorrow night, low to low 30s. Partly sunny, slight chance of showers Monday, high low 50s. And weather anytime at newsdakota.com. 50 degrees in Jamestown.
Songs that help you relax and feel good. Now playing on Jamestown 107. Relax and feel good. James.
M1400 KQDJ Jamestown and 107.1 K296 HH Jamestown.
And what it means and to our programs and things it's done. So I was never a part of a true, what I would say, rivalry game. When in college I was at Northern State, and we kind of make up people, but that never really had that true rival game. And so to come up here and experience what it felt like was a lot different. So there's no question it's disappointing and something that's, it's not hard to replace that same feeling with anybody else that you're going to go against. So that's the disappointment piece of it.
So your team coming off of a loss to Dickinson State, and it was a very interesting game for you guys because Noah Chambers played extremely well. He had over 400 all-purpose yards combining his passing and rushing total. What did you like from Noah a week ago?
Yeah, I think, we were able to give him a little bit of time, and he just was, be able to find some of the receivers, and that was a really positive piece. He played well, just definitely came off and did a nice job for us and gave us some opportunities to get back in the game. And, it's just frustrating a little bit of you did some good things offensively to move the ball, make some points, and we've been struggling doing that all year. And we kind of get that, and then we mix that up with, defensively, we allowed more points than we want, and that's a little, that piece was a little bit frustrating on our end, and have a great offensive performance and not really match up defensively as well as what we'd like to have. But yeah, we're excited. That said, Noah played really well, and good to see him come in and be able to replace Avery at a high level.
The Jimmies today, they're safe to say a little bit different, at least from a confidence standpoint. From the first time that you played them, they too played well against Dickinson State in their most recent game. What do you see from the Jimmies in this late part of the season that's so different from earlier when they were trying to find that first win?
Yeah, I think that, even when they're here, it's 14-7, and we don't get that kickoff return for a touchdown. It's going to be a close game, and well played all the way through. I don't see it any different. I think when you compare scores and you look at us, Jamestown, Dakota State, Mayville State, there's not a lot of difference between us. We all have some good players, good, strides of offense and defense, and then we have some struggles. Like we've hit some pieces that we're frustrated with, and we're all very comparable. When we showed it, we've beaten each other up, and we've played really close games. And Dickinson seems to be separate themselves from basically everybody, and I'm not. That's just my perspective. I said when we played them the first time, I think Jamestown's a good squad. They have good players. They've done good things. They, had a little bit of, turmoil and things that went through. But, the players that they have, they played hard, never seen them, all those things were positive out of their program. So I honestly don't see it much different than our first game. We're, it's going to be 4 quarters and a hard-fought game and close, and it's going to come down to the wire to win the game. That's what I see.
Up next, David Burrell sits down with Jimmie head coach Brian Mistro on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
And we'll have more on that coming up here in just a little bit after a break in our pregame report. We had planned on a little different broadcast arrangement this week, but there were some games that, if teams would do what we told them to do, we'd have a little bit more control of their schedule. And then when that doesn't happen, so yes, we will have the comments of Brian Mistro, the head coach of the University of Jamestown, with David Burrell, who had that conversation with him earlier this week. That's coming up a little bit later in our pregame report. Again, brought to you today by S&P Ave Maria in Jamestown, and in Valley City by Sanford Health, Valley City. But, suffice it to say, in that conversation that you had with Dennis McCulloch, BJ, he mentioned, hey, there's four of us that pretty much look like each other, and there's one team that stands out. And both of these teams had chances against Dickinson State, but we know that they're going to the playoffs. What's really been interesting about the conference this year, and I think it's the same today, we have no idea how this game's going to go. We really have no clue. There are years where you come into this and you know what they're going to do, you know what we're going to do, and then we kind of have an idea of who's behind on the scoreboard before the game starts. No one's behind on the scoreboard when the game starts this year, which has made it kind of fun, even though it's been frustrating for a lot of fans that all of us wish our teams were better, but at the same time, it's been fun to watch these games play out.
It's amazing because Mayville comes in with literally zero expectations on them this year, and they start the year, struggling. Then they win a few games. Dakota State got off to their best start in 20 years. They've kind of fallen off at the end of the season. And in talking with all the coaches throughout the season, I think you got the sense that there was Dickinson State, and then who knows who's going to get second.
And you also kind of wonder where Mayville State would be this year if they weren't 5 quarterbacks into their season.
Yes.
That's really one of the tragedies of this year when you take a look around the conference. We have a break in our pregame report coming up. When we come back, David Burrell will have the comments of the Jimmie head football coach Brian Mistro as we get ready for this game today and the finale of football for all of us. We had the Dakota Bowl yesterday. Today's it. We're done with football after this one's over. We got a week of volleyball left, and then it's time to move on to the winter sports. And also this rivalry, we don't know where we're sending it, but we know we're sending it into the sunset for a while. So join us as we do that today. It's the Vikings and the Jimmies on KOVC, Jamestown 107.1. We're back with more in the pregame report in a couple of moments.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at dakotacentral.com.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Johnny B's Brickhouse, famous for their pizza, but wait, there's pasta, and their amazing wings, and fresh ground hamburgers, tasty salads and appetizers too. And for dessert, you can't beat their sweet sticks. Come on out for Tuesday night trivia and live entertainment every Thursday night. The place to be is Johnny B's, smack dab in the middle of Main Street, downtown Jamestown. And remember, for delivery and carryout, call 952-8777.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking and Jimmie football today here on Jamestown 107.1, the voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham along with BJ Walters. Jaden Babiak will be on our sideline for sideline coverage today. It's the end of the rivalry, maybe, or at least the end of it for a while. The University of Jamestown hosting Valley City State University today here at Hanson Stadium in Jamestown. Our pregame report today brought to you by S&P Ave Maria in Jamestown, by Sanford Health Valley City in Valley City. And earlier this week, Our man in Jamestown, David Burrell, the regular voice of the Jimmies, had a chance to sit down with the Jimmie head football coach, Brian Mistro. Those comments on today's matchup as we continue with our pregame report brought to you by Sanford Health and S&P Ave Maria.
Jamestown and VCSU play one more time, at least for now, for the paint bucket. It is the S&P Health Ave Maria pregame. We're with Jimmie's head coach, Brian Mistro. There's a whole lot in today, but first, I want to go back a couple of weeks because I think it ties into today. And the fact that it may be arguable, but I certainly think so. You gave the champion of the league a tougher time than anybody else has. You've got a bona fide chance to win that game in the fourth quarter. Can you describe the comparison between the state, basically, of your team that day and going back to what it was the first time you played the Vikings, which may have been the low point?
Yeah, we went through a pretty big slump there to start the year. We were playing well. We're losing close games versus Division II opponents, and then we had the rough one at Dakota State, and then homecoming with Mayville. You're like, we're in all these one-score games, and it's just what is going on. And then we hit a slump there where we got blown out by Dickey and Valley, and we had a team meeting, kind of a come to Jesus, like, hey, if you're done. Like, we're going to play the young kids, and we're going to give them a shot because we can lose with anybody, boys. And I think the guys really, they pulled up their bootstraps and said, no, Coach, we got you. We're going to get this done. And then, we have a chance to win 3 of our last 4, which is important to end the season on a high note. The way that we were playing against Dakota State and Valley and Dickinson there the last 3 weeks, our guys are just playing with a lot more confidence, and having the confidence in your abilities is really a big part of this game. And so our guys are locked in, they're loaded, they know what this means. We all know what it means. It's a really big game. It's one of the best rivalries in college football, especially at the smaller levels. And so I'm excited. It's good to have them home, for only the second time in 6 years. And so it's good to be at home within our backyard. And so I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the boys. I'm excited for the communities.
Yeah, they won fair and square the first time, all right. But I don't think there's a person in this program who believes that they're 31 points better than you. I'm sure you don't believe that.
Yeah, that's the score got away from us there, and some of the snafus that we had opening in the second half. And once the snowball started, it just started, and we played their game. And I told our guys, if you play their game, you're going to lose. And so we're going to hang our hats on, being the more disciplined football team. We're going to hang our hats on trusting our guys, putting the ball in our guys' hands that are good on offense, and then defensively, not trying to do too much. Just do the things that we do well, boys. And yeah, I don't think there's a lot of teams that are 31 points better than us, but it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, if you play that way, Coach Nelson can come in and beat the Jimmies if you're going to play terrible. And so I just think that it doesn't matter who you are. Any given Saturday, there's things that can happen, and it's just a matter of doing the job that you need to do and that you prepared to do all week.
Now, what was interesting last week is that Thorsgaard had played a couple weeks in a row a quarterback, and I'm sure Dickinson prepared for him. Then they bring in Chambers and played in a couple of weeks. He ended up having a good game. But the fact of the matter is, too, Thorsgaard's still their leading rusher. So that gave you a lot to prepare for this week, right?
Yeah, it's the kid's senior year. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a good chance that we're going to see him, even though the other guy threw, for 350 yards against a really good defense, too. So, we're having a plan for both ideas, but defensively, it doesn't change a whole heck of a lot. Mm-hmm. Guys, do your job. And whether they're running the ball with the quarterback or throwing it with the quarterback, our jobs still don't really change. It's just a matter of making sure that we're a little bit more in tune with what's going on in their backfield and understanding what their strengths are of the guys that are back there. So I think we'll be all right. Our guys are to the point now where hopefully we have their mindset right to where I don't care who's back there. Let's go play football.
What's it been like for all of the seniors in your team this week, especially these defensive guys we talked about all year that played together for so long? You do have a few guys on offense that this is it for them today. What's it been like for these guys this week? Football's one of those games where this is the last time that these guys are ever going to put a helmet and shoulder pads on. And for a lot of them, for sure. And so, I mean, it's just a matter of making everything matter to you. And, I think our guys have done a good job of that all their careers. But it's really a humbling time when you walk off the field for the last time.
no matter what level you're at, when you know it's done, it's done. And I think the guys understand the importance of that, and we're going to take it with, we're going to take every moment and remember it and win, lose, or draw. Like, these guys love each other. I love them to death. This was a great experience for them, and they're going to go out on top, hopefully.
Thank you. Good luck this afternoon.
Absolutely. Go Jimmies.
The S&P Alta Ave Maria pregame show continues with the starting lineups from Hanson Stadium next on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
And this is also the voice of the Vikings, KOVC, Valley City. Ryan Cunningham along with BJ Walters and Jaden Babiak on our sideline here today. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for today's matchup. In Valley City, starting lineups are brought to you by CHI Mercy Health Valley City, Hello Human Kindness. And today, our starting lineups in Jamestown brought to you by Pit Stop Express Lube. And let's run down those starting lineups. First of all, for the University of Jamestown, the center is Matt Sperlin. The guards are Brady Hoff and Thomas Pettinger, and the tackles are Greg Hansleben and Cole Mack. The wide receivers, Dawson Schmidt, Isaiah Roebuck, and Ethan Hoffman. The tight end is Caleb Powell. The running back is Zach Hammett. John Grand will get the start at quarterback this afternoon. Defensively, they're in the 3 technique. The nose is Ty Mansfield. The edges are Dan Erlinson and Tyler Dean. The linebackers are David Diaz, Jed Rance, Mason Parker, and Esri Bellingheri, who has had a couple of very nice weeks for the University of Jamestown as a linebacker, and also won against the Vikings earlier this year. Defensive secondary, the corners are Rashawn Benners and Spencer Russell, and the safeties are Parker Chafee and Kyle Williams. For Valley City State this afternoon, the starting lineup, the center is Bryce Prouty. The guards are Weiss Wilpecht and Tommy Cox, and the tackles Jonah Larson and Atta Borden, Sofan Saklarad. The wide receivers are Jake Deutsch, Dom Sotomayor, and Xavier Westbrook. The tight end is Trent Finney. The running back is Legarius Marshall. Noah Chambers gets the start at quarterback. Defensively, it's a 4. The interior, Tequez Chapman and Georgie Magneo. The ends are Georgia Magneo and Mosiah Rogers Taval. The linebackers are Loke Yese, Levi Olson, and Malachi Torres. The safeties, Mike Olson and Gavin Gerhardt. The corners are James Don and Emmanuel Spy. And those are your starting lineups for today. They're pausing our national anthem here, or they're pausing for the anthem. We'll do the same. We're back with more next on Jamestown 107.1 and KOVC.
Hi, this is Sean Taft from the Jamestown Country Club. And as we head into the winter months, we want to thank everybody for a memorable season. Let's all have a great holiday, and let's look forward to next season when we can all get out and start playing some golf again. In the meantime, take a look at our website at jamestowncountry.club. Our rates are up and available, and you can see what it's all about. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing all of you next year.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Hit the ground running. The pain brings me to my knees.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Foot pain, knee pain, hip pain. Oh my, have I got the solution for you. Apex Physical Therapy and Wellness Center is just the place to help you out with any orthopedic pains.
So let us take the weight off your shoulders and get on over to Apex. They're the bee's knees.
Call Apex about your joint pain today at 701-952-2739 to schedule your appointment today.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com. Welcome back to our coverage of Viking and Jimmie football today here on KOVC, the voice of the Valley, and also on Jamestown 107.1 as we draw in on time for our kickoff of today's matchup between the Vikings and Jimmies. While we have the opportunity, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Viking and Jimmie football.
KQDJ
The voice
AM
of the Valley,
Jamestown,
1490 KOVC AM
K296
Valley City,
HH
and
Jamestown.
96.3 K242 CZ Valley City.
Ryan Cunningham, BJ Walters. Walters, Jaden Babiak with you here today from Hanson Stadium in Jamestown. The Jimmies clad in black with orange. The Vikings are in white with, or I should say rather, cream with cardinal to be specific today between the Vikings and the Jimmies. And I should mention that the Jimmie orange is not the only orange that's out there. It's weekend number 2 of deer hunting. And for those of you that might be taking this one in while you're out in the great countryside doing the drive for venison, if you will, please be safe out there, number 1. Number 2, you have no snow to track them through, and you better get them right away, because trying to trail one down without the snow on the ground is going to be just a little bit difficult. Now, BJ, I don't know. You're from Pennsylvania, Texas. Do you know what any of that means, or do I have to translate for you? It's fine. I'll do it if I have to. Just let me know what I need to do.
Definitely the translation.
You got it?
Let's be honest.
Okay.
Let's be very honest.
Okay,
my aim is probably not good enough to do any of the above.
I got you. Okay. Okay. So here's what you do then. If you're concerned about that, there's always somebody with an extra ring of deer sausage in their freezer. Just ask them for it. Okay, it'll be just fine. Right? There's always someone out there that harvests a deer and that thinks that their sausage that year turned out just better than anybody's, and they need to show you, so they got one ring hanging out in their freezer. Always take it, frost it, and do the thing. All right?
And I will say, I may not know how to hunt. I may never know how to hunt, but if you cook it up on a grill, I am there. Trust me on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and there's nothing like deer sausage. We have 51 degrees and sunshine at Hanson Stadium here in Jamestown today. 11-mile-per-hour breezes, which aren't going to affect the football game a lot. So if this is the last one for a while, the really good news out of it is that it's not going to be hampered by weather. It'll be a straight-up test for both teams out there today. The Vikings are 3-6 overall, 2-5 in the league. Jamestown's 2-5 in the North Star. They're 2-7 overall. The Vikings won the last matchup 38-7. And this one's for the paint bucket, round 2. The winner here gets the paint bucket, and it stays with them for a whole long time, depending upon how this thing is going to go. The kicker for the University of Jamestown is Anand Peterson, and back to return the kick for the Vikings is Xavier Westbrook. The Vikings will move towards the north end zone and defend the end zone on our left. The Jimmies will defend the end zone on our right and move towards the south end zone when they have the football today. That crowd here at Hanson Stadium means it's time to kick this one away, and the kickoff is away. It's a short kickoff taken by Colby Jones, the 20 for the Vikings, who returns back to the middle, crosses the 30, and is out to the 34. And we'll see the Vikings go to work. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line of the University of Jamestown today. The Jimmies get a stop on special teams from Jackson Walters, defensive back right here in Jamestown, North Dakota, who was a phenomenal high school football player to watch when he was doing his thing for the Blue Jays.
And so we do see Noah Chambers. Looks like he's going to take the first snap, coming off of a career day against Dickinson State.
Absolutely. 300 yards plus last week, and led the Vikings in a comeback that gave us moments in the second half of keeping it close. 1st and 10 Vikings, their own 34. Chambers out of the gun. Throwing right side immediately. Jake Deutsch diving catch. Did he catch it? He did. At the 40-yard line, it'll be a gain of about 6 yards. The line of scrimmage was the 34, and Jake Deutsch hauls it in. Ezra Bellingheri on the coverage for the Jimmies, and it's 2nd and 4 Vikings.
Really nice, easy first throw to get Chambers in a little bit of a rhythm early.
Xavier Westbrook, Jake Deutsch to the right, Dom Sotomayor to the left. Legarius Marshall to the left of Chambers out of the gun on 2nd and 4. Bellingheri blitzes. The Vikings run away from it. Legarius Marshall off left tackle. Drives his way to the 43. It's a gain of 3. Going to be 3rd down and 2. Jed Rance. That's his 80th tackle this season for the Jimmies. 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Vikings. And why not have a 3rd and 1 on the opening possession of the football game, huh? Listen to this Jimmy crowd come to life. Avery Thorsgaard in for the tush push. You can see it coming from Medina. And Thorsgaard will drive his way towards the line of scrimmage. A favorable spot off the near sideline is going to have him with a 1st down. That's Jason Doctor, our side judge on the Jimmy sideline today. And Thorsgaard will put it right with the nose of the football at the 44-yard line. It's enough for a 1st down. Avery Thorsgaard gets 1.
The crazy part of that is that's about as well-defended tush push as you can have, but they didn't need that much, and so the Vikings get the 1st down.
1st and 10 Vikings from the 44 in the opening possession of the game. Three receivers. Nick Mears checks into the slot with Dom Sotomayor on the right. Jake Deutsch, lone man left. Shotgun snap again, taken by Noah Chambers rather. They'll give to Legarius Marshall, stacked up, but Marshall, then the ball came out, and the Jimmies may have it. Did they say it was down? They did. The whistle blew that Legarius Marshall's forward progress had been stopped at the 45-yard line. The strip drill went to work, and the ball came out after that. And, boy, the Jimmies thought they were going to get the football. I thought that was Dan Erlinson that stripped that ball loose on the near side.
It was, but the play was made by Ezra Bellingary. He gets the edge, sets the edge, and makes Marshall have to redirect.
First down, or other second down and 9 from the Viking 45. Now the Jimmie crowd looking for some defense. Chambers out of the shotgun, 3 receivers. Takes the snap, steps up pocket over the middle. Trent Finney's got the catch up midfield. He's hit immediately and dropped by number 6, Parker Chafee, out of the defensive secondary, a safety. Chafee with 47 tackles on the season. Here's 3rd and 5 after a 4-yard catch for Trent Finney. And again, the crowd comes storming to life here at Amsoil Stadium. They came to have fun this afternoon. Chambers out of the shotgun with 3 receivers on 3rd down. He's in trouble. Flush right side, going to run. Puts a move on at midfield, cuts back, dives. He's got a first down. Ahead of the Jimmie 45, near the 44. Comes to a sliding stop ahead of Jed Rance again. And it's a first down for the Vikings over the Jimmie 45-yard line.
Blitz off the left side, picked up nicely by Larson and Wilprecht. And then Chambers, to his credit, runs to the opposite side of the blitz to pick up the second 3rd down conversion of this drive.
3.5 minutes into the game already. No score. The Vikings with the football. The Jimmie 45-yard line, looking at first down and 10. Twin receivers left. Sotomayor wide side. The slot, Jake Deutsch. Turn, Colby Jones. A flag is out, and we'll see this play blown dead. Vikings may have been jumping. Let's go down to the sideline where we have Jaden Babiak standing by. Jaden's down there. Let's get a report from. We're going to wait. Jaden had looked towards us, and now he looks away back out to the field of play. We're going to be checking in with Jaden here in a couple of moments. They're going to mark the penalty off against the Vikings. It'll be a false start penalty back to the midfield stripe.
Looked like Tommy Cox jumped just before the snap on that first down play.
Obviously, the offensive line a little different. New man up there this week with Attibord and Sofin Saklarad at the right tackle position. He was stepping in for Zach Kuznia, probably an injury situation there. So the Vikings trying to get some things together on their audible. It's 1st and 15. Shotgun snap to Chambers, quick throw, and it's in the ground, incomplete. Jake Deutsch, the intended receiver. Let's go to the field where we have our man, Jaden Babiak, standing by. Jaden?
Guys, after that first down that Valley City converted, the crowd lost a bit of life, but after taking that penalty, the crowd's back into this. This is a lively sideline here in Jamestown, and on a big senior night, no less. It's going to be a lot of energy from both sidelines, I foresee today.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fun day today. Jaden Babiak on the sideline with us. 2nd down and 15 for the Vikings from midfield after the incompletion. Clock halted with 11:13 to go opening quarter. Play action, Chambers to throw. Right side in the slot, is nearly picked off. He had a man, Xavier Westbrook, trying to make a sliding catch. It collided off of Xavier Westbrook, and Ray Benners was on the back end of it, but Benners didn't think he would get to him. It ends up being bobbled around, and here comes 3rd and 15.
So one adjustment I think Valley City State's going to have to make is David Diaz Jr. is standing up and blitzing right at the snap off of the right side of the offensive line. They're going to have to figure out how they want to block that going forward, especially here on 3rd and long.
4 sophomores and a freshman up there. Some jumping from UJ. They get back on side. Chambers shotgun snap on 3rd and 15. Throws underneath. Finney, a lot of room to work with. Hit as he got to the 41. Dives ahead. May get himself to the 40. Here comes 4th and 5 and a 10-yard pickup. And, boy, we're going to say this young man's name all day. Ezra Bellingary, he won the Defensive Player of the Week honors 2 weeks in a row for the North Star Athletic Association. He would like it again, apparently, because he's been involved in every stop today, to include, I believe, a traffic stop downtown this morning before the game got started.
And here's the first roll the dice play, 4th and 5, and why not go for it from the 40?
The Vikings will go for it on 4th and 5. 4 receivers, 3 strung to the right. Chambers the snap, quick throw in the slot. It's picked off. And guess who? Ezra Bellingheri with the takeaway. He's tripped up at the 35-yard line. Chambers puts it into coverage where the linebacker was. And Bellingheri injured as he gets up out of the pile, but makes a big play for the University of Jamestown on the opening possession of the game.
For Bellingheri, that is his second interception. The other one went for a touchdown at Maybell State in the first half of that game. And you mentioned it, this second half of the year, he has been completely dominant in NSAA play.
55 tackles, 7.5 for loss. He had a banner day against the Vikings over at Locken Stadium earlier this year. Comes up with a takeaway on the opening possession. John Grant out of the shotgun for the Jimmies. 4 receivers, 3 right. He'll give it away. Second running back, Carlos Julian, starts the game. And Julian off left tackle plunges his way forward to around the 39-yard line. He'll be brought down by the Vikings up front by a new man in the ball game for Valley City State that we weren't looking for today, as the Vikings will have Taryn Larson, a freshman out of Beulah, North Dakota, up on the first series off the right tackle position. That's where Mosiah Rogers-Tavau typically starts for the Vikings, and a little bit injury plaguing him throughout the course of the year, and so we'll see a new man up there, Taryn Larson, in that spot. 3-yard pickup for Julian, and it's 2nd down and 7 for the Jimmies, their own 39. They'll motion across the formation with a tight end. Duran drops back, throws near side, pass caught, tight end Caleb Powell with a catch along the near sideline. First down for the Jimmies in Viking territory at the 48-yard line. Gavin Gerhardt with 80 tackles in his freshman year for the Vikings comes up with a stop, but a big play for the tight end Caleb Powell at his 11th catch of the season.
That's a real nice job of just running a quick out to a vacated area, and that's something John Grant has gotten.
And the Vikings will be penalized for personal foul, a late hit on the end of that play as well, as there was contact after Powell found the sideline. So march this one off 15 more yards on the end of the play. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Jimmies up at the Viking 33-yard line.
Yeah, didn't even see the flag, but that's something John Grant has gotten very comfortable with. Just throwing a quick out and letting his athletes around him make some plays.
1st and 10, Jimmy's at the Viking 33 after the turnover and the penalty. No score, with 4 receivers stepping in now for the Jimmies, twins each way. And we'll see motion across the formation, or at least towards it. A turn and a giveaway to Carlos Julian. Strung near side, puts a move on and run out of bounds at around the 32 for a gain of perhaps a yard. Loke Yese was over. Gavin Gerhardt comes up with part of the stop there for the Vikings, just a 1-yard pickup. This is a Vikings team that gives up just 106 rushing yards a game, or rather 106 passing yards a game. They give up 192 rushing yards a game, so you can understand why the Jimmies would try to run first against them today. 2nd down and 9.
Certainly, they have gotten a lot of publicity about the run defense. So, yeah, Jamestown coming out trying to win the line of scrimmage. Makes
Absolutely.
sense.
Dawson Schmidt wide to the right side on 2nd down 9. Julian stretch play right side, ran into a blocker, then cut back and was able to find the 30, and that was 3 yards of really hard running. Tequez Chapman comes up with a stop, but that was after Julian ran into, I believe, his right guard, Thomas Pettinger, and ends up being bumped aside. That was just a 1-yard pickup at the end. They only give him the 31, so it's 3rd and 8 for the University of Jamestown.
And that was a nice job by Georgie Maggio pushing the right guard into the running back. Nice job by him.
3rd and 8, probably 4-down territory for the Jimmies as well, at least from this distance. 4 receivers, twins each way. Caleb Powell's in the slot on the near side of the football field. Grant's out of the pistol with Julian behind him. Grant takes the snap, quick throw, right side, pass caught. This will be a 1st down for the University of Jamestown. Pass caught on the far side of the football field by Dawson Schmidt. The Vikings get a stop from James Don defensively, but Schmidt with a 1st down up to the Viking 23-yard line. Got everything they needed. They needed 8, they got 8, and the Jimmies keep the football.
I'm a little surprised at how soft Don is playing on that 8-yard 3rd down. He was playing at about 12 yards. That's an easy pitch and catch.
In that particular down and distance, yeah, we've seen Emmanuel Spivey press on the near side of the field, but now they flip sides. Don's near us, Spivey's over on the far edge. It's 1st and 10, Jamestown, UJ from the 23. Play action, the throw by Grant, immediately caught and dropped on the far side is Dawson Schmidt. Let's go to the sideline where we have Jaden Babiak standing by on the Jimmy sideline. Jaden?
Guys, the Jimmy's offense is moving the ball efficiently. They're loving the way that they're driving down the field right now. Obviously, that 15-yard penalty by the Vikings not helping. Going back to that interception, though, Coach Mistro for the Jimmie says, celebrate now, but reset. A lot of game to go here in Jamestown.
Thank you very much. It's Jaden Babiak on our sideline today. It's a 4-yard pickup on the previous catch for Dawson Schmidt. The ball goes into the red zone for the Jimmies, and they're going to send 4 in a quad on the right side. Don't see the square formation very often. Diamonds sometime, but not square. This is innovative from Coach Mistro and the group. Grand to throw a screen pass, red immediately. Schmidt's in all kinds of trouble after making the catch, and he'll go down. And there was some more late contact on the far side of the field, and our referee, instead of throwing the flag, is going to say, gentlemen, play like men. The ball will come back to the 24. That's going to be a loss of 4 yards on the screen pass. Correction, 5.
So that was a different looking formation, but this is a real interesting matchup. They've got Spidey on Isaiah Roebuck, who in his last game had 17 receptions, a school record for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And Emmanuel Spidey, young man, he's a sophomore out of Fargo, North Dakota, had a very good career over in the high school level and has been good for the Vikings throughout. 3rd and 11, big play for the Jimmies. Grand dropping back, he's blitzed. Throws near side of the field, no one home. That's incomplete. Little crossing route near side for Ethan Hoffman, covered well by Micah Olson. Vikings brought Loke Yese on a blitz off the left side, and that forced the play to hurry. And here comes the Jimmie field goal unit on to try to poke in the first 3 points of the game on a 41-yard try from Anand Peterson.
Peterson's career long came against Hastings in 2022. That was from 40. This would be a new career long.
41 yards, testing his distance perhaps. After the turnover with 5:40 to play in the opening quarter, Jimmie's trying to take the first lead. Peterson waiting for the snap. The snap was on the ground. Peterson had to hurry the kick, and it's a line drive into the front of the end zone. And no good. The Vikings will withstand the turnover and get the football in a scoreless ball game. And you could see that coming, BJ. That snap just came out flat, ended up on the ground, and I think Peterson was in a bit of a hurry. And when you got that kind of an exchange going, you're just going to get the line drive that barely clears the goal line.
So interesting opening drives. 10 plays for the Vikings, nothing doing, and 8 plays for the Jimmies, nothing doing.
Yeah. Well, it's been that kind of year. Why would it change at this point? 5:36 to go in the opening quarter. Chambers calling his own number quarterback draw. Short gain as he'll step his way up to around the 22-yard line for a gain of 3. A stop from Dan Erlinson. 2nd down and 7, no score. And our scoreboard updates are brought to you today in Valley City by LaRue Laco Financial. And our scoreboard update today is brought to you in Jamestown by Gun and Reel Sports. 2nd down and 7. Ball for the Vikings at the 27-yard line. Again, moving from our left to right. Defending the south, moving towards the north end zone. They'll ask for Jake Deutsch to step up and cover the tackle on the near side of the field. Turn, they give it away. Legarius Marshall trying to poke and prod towards the left. And the pile's going to move him near the 31. A gain of 4, just kind of getting into a mass of humanity. And the humanity pushing him along the way. I believe the stop was from Erlinson again up on the defensive line, but give credit to about 5 different black shirts that were in the vicinity there. And here comes 3rd and 3.
This is where the Vikings want to be. 3rd and short. You've got the whole playbook at your disposal. They're going to go empty.
Empty backfield with 3 receivers. Twins to the right. Single tight end left, slot back left. Bellingheri blitzes. That's picked up. Chambers throwing wide open. Austin Richter over the middle of the field. Into Jimmie territory. Across the 35 and 30 and down to the 29-yard line. A blitz, the cover 2. Perfect call against it on the post. And the Vikings are inside Jimmie territory on a big throw down the field from Noah Chambers.
Really confident looking throw from Noah. He stands in the face of pressure and delivers a strike.
1st and 10 for the Vikings up at the Jimmie 29-yard line with a clock under 4 to play in the opening quarter. 3 receivers, Twins right. Chambers, again with 2 tight ends balanced, will call his own number on the student body play, and the student body's not going to hold up to the 29 and nothing as that play is snuffed out up front by Tyler Dean. Comes off the right side to come up with a stop for the Jimmies. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It looked like the Viking offensive line went ahead and blocked the outside trying to get him to the corner, and instead the blitz came from the inside, nothing doing.
2nd down and 10 for the Vikings from the Jimmie 29-yard line. 3 receivers, Sotomayor and also Xavier Westbrook to the left. He had the big day last week. Jake Deutsch near side of the field for the Vikings. Chambers again dropping back. Late blitz. He throws middle. Pass is incomplete, looking for Westbrook. Jaden Babiak is on our sideline on the near side. Jaden?
Guys back down here after that big play from Austin Richter for the Vikings. Coach is reminding the Jimmie sideline to focus up, stay engaged. Obviously, last game of the season, it's today or never.
Good message to deliver when you give up a big play like that, isn't it? I mean,
no doubt.
Yeah, I got to step up, make sure that doesn't happen again. And the Jimmies have delivered. Here comes 3rd down and 10 from the 29-yard line of the University of Jamestown for the Vikings. And again, very likely 4-down territory from this distance. Legarius Marshall to the left of Noah Chambers. Blitz comes, picked up. Chambers to throw over the middle, incomplete. Contact was very timely. The Vikings won a flag. They thought Xavier Westbrook was hit early by Kyle Williams, the starting safety, but in the long run it'll be incomplete, and the Vikings will change out personnel. They're going to go to a 4th down play. Now, they're going to bring... I got it. Thank you, though. They're going to bring... Oh, no, they're going to go to the field goal unit. Wow, this is ambitious. A 46-yard field goal try for Evan Lorenzo.
Has a 47-yarder this year.
Near hash and Avery Thorsgaard doesn't count enough Vikings on the field to block. And we're going to get a timeout, I believe, taken by the Vikings. And the Vikings have called for timeout. Avery Thorsgaard counting them up says, we need 11. We don't have them. And so Dennis McCulloch and his team will get together, and this may give the Vikings a chance to rethink the field goal tries. Let's count them up as they're going. Yep, the Vikings had 10 on the field. They did not have 11. So the senior holder, Avery Thorsgaard, who's obviously a quarterback, counts them up and says, hey, guys, we don't have enough. And the Vikings will go over and huddle it up with 2:59 to play opening quarter. Well, it's been everything we thought we'd see so far. Each team has kind of, you'd call it an explosive or a mini explosive play. The Jimmies hit a pass over the top. The Vikings did as well. Good defense, lots of contact. Everything you'd expect out of these two playing each other.
It certainly is. And just to that point, Lorenzo's longest field goal, 47 yards, that's on the one hand. On the other hand, he's 50% this year, 7 out of 14.
Been a tough year.
Win.
Just a little bit of a wind to his back. Avery Thorsgaard to hold. High snap. Hold is down. Kick on its way. Has plenty of leg. He might have got this, and he did. He got it from 46 yards, and the Vikings take the opening lead of the game. On our LaRue Laco Financial and Gun and Reel scoreboard with 2:54 to play of the opening quarter. It's the Vikings 3 and the Jimmies nothing. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation and Hillerud Construction. More Viking and Jimmie footballs next.
Where do you find the friendliest staff, largest selection, lowest prices, and the freshest produce? Hugo's in Jamestown. But what if you can't go to the store? Hugo's Family Marketplace offers online shopping. You can shop all the departments and all the sales at GoHugos.com. Choose pickup or Hugo's delivery service, and they'll do the in-store shopping for you. Hugo's Family Marketplace online shopping at GoHugos.com.
You're gonna find more low prices, more great stuff when you go to Hugo's.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking and Jimmie football. It's the Vikings 3, the Jimmies nothing on our scoreboard. Brought to you today again by Mobility Plus, by LaRue Laco Financial and Gun and Reel Sports. The Vikings capitalize on a 46-yard field goal try from Evan Lorenzo to make it 3-0 Valley City State. Lorenzo will kick the football for the Vikings to get the ball back into the hands of the University of Jamestown. Kick will be brought back from the 5-yard line. Kickoff returner for the Jimmies is Rashawn Bennis and Isaiah Roebuck, and a big pile up as the pile got to the 25-yard line. We got guys that are jumping from 3 yards away up on top of the pile here at this point, and, well, we'll see who comes out of the bottom of the pile with it. I don't believe it was either Bennins or Roebuck. Was that Isaiah Roebuck that returned the kick? It may have been.
It was Ray Benners that returned it. He got popped at the 18.
Okay, I got number 18 that returned. That was that was Erastus Ancino that returned the kick. We don't normally see him. He's not listed as one of the kickoff returners. But again, you've got this day here today, BJ, where let's try some new things and see how it goes, right?
Do it.
First down, John Grant on a stretch play. This will be the first time that Zach Hammett has a chance to handle the football today. It doesn't go well as Loke Yese catches up to him in the backfield and sends him spiraling back. Ball will go back to the 24, the line of scrimmage, the 26. It's a loss of 2 for Zach Hammond. That'll be second down and 12.
That scoring drive, 6 plays, 47 yards, 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Obviously, the big play, the pass to Austin Richter.
Yeah, that covered plenty of ground for the Vikings in that stretch, and it was really the lone breakdown for the Jimmie defense on that possession. Second down and 12, ball to 24. Grand with 3 receivers, Twins to his right. He'll take the snap out of the gun with an empty backfield. Throws right side in the hook. The pass is caught, immediately snuffed out by James Don. I believe the catch was made by David Diaz, who steps in. He's a defensive back. I wouldn't think that he'd be catching the football.
That was Colton Schumacher.
Okay, there it was. Oh, Colton Schumacher. My apologies. Had the number wrong on that. Colton Schumacher. I have him listed as number 25 for some reason, so we'll make that correction. So Colton Schumacher with a catch for a gain of 4. And here comes third down and 8 for the University of Jamestown. Ball at their own 27. This is a big play for the Jimmies trying to answer after the Vikings take the opening lead of the game. 90 seconds to go. Grand dropping back, looking, pressured, steps away from it. Rolling right side, still rolling to the sideline. He's chased out of bounds of the Vikings sideline. One of the Vikings went tumbling into some of the Vikings staff, and a down marker official over on the far edge. Grand's out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And that was a really nice job in the secondary in coverage, because what they're looking for on that play is they're looking for Caleb Powell on the sideline. Good coverage by the Vikings.
Good chase on the far side of the field by Georgie Magnejo, who comes up with probably the official stop on that play, nearing 40 tackles on the season. High snap on the punt. It's up and over the punter's head. Oh, the ball's on the ground in the end zone. It may have been recovered. It's not recovered in the end zone. It'll be recovered at the 1-yard line, and the Vikings will take over first down and goal. The snap to Brooks' butt was way over his head. He got a hand on it. Then he got knocked out of the way trying to recover it. The ball slid into the end zone, but was touched by the Vikings at the 1, and it's first and goal.
And that's a problem that we saw a lot of early in the season. Not so much during conference play, but it sets up the Vikings beautifully to just run push.
And here they come with Avery Thorsgaard stepping in. Legarius Marshall will be the pusher behind him. Thorsgaard taking a look towards the far sideline. Under a minute to play opening quarter. We'll see Dom Sotomayor trying to run off the field, and the Vikings are going to give 5 yards away. They came out of the huddle with too many men, and we'll see a substitution infraction coming up against Valley City State. Yeah, illegal substitution coming up against Valley City State, and so
I'm not sure
they're going to
how
back the ball up.
I'm not sure how that happens on a first play of a drive, Ryan. You're literally coming off of the sideline. That's frustrating.
They changed personnel. You're expecting a punt. You're going to go out there with the Chambers group. That's set up, right? Now all of a sudden it's first and goal at the 1. You're going to go push, different groupings, right? All that kind of thing comes into play. So now the Vikings will have first and goal, but from the 6, still good field position, but not quite the 1-yard line. And we'll see how they adjust to that, as Noah Chambers will now come into the game for the Vikings rather than Avery Thorsgaard in the short yardage situation. Pair of receivers to the right. Legarius Marshall in the backfield gets the carry, runs up the field, and goes untouched into the end zone for a 6-yard touchdown off right guard. I'll tell you what, they ran right at the side of the field where Attebord and Soap and Soklerot stepped in as the reserve tackle today. He throws the block to Spring Marshall. Touchdown Vikings at 50 seconds of the opening quarter.
And isn't this a little reminiscent of the game in Valley City where one thing went wrong for Jamestown and then it snowballed a little bit? This next possession will be important.
Lorenzo for the extra point. Good snap, hold down, kick on its way, good. And it's 10-0 Vikings over the University of Jamestown after a disaster on special teams for UJ with 50 seconds left to go in the opening quarter. We have a timeout once again for Hillerud Construction and for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking at Jimmie football on Jamestown 107.1 and the voice of the Valley, KOVZ.
Lever's food, best quality, best price. Lever's food, best service, they're nice. Lever's food, they make everything right.
This week, head to Lever's Foods in Valley City for the harvest sale and save on Our Family shredded or chunk cheese, $1.88 each. Our Family bone-in turkey breasts, $1.49 a pound. Our Family corn or green beans, 78 cents a can. Red or green seedless grapes, just $2.49 a pound. And Our Family stuffing mix, 2 for only $2.88. Delivery is available by calling 845
performance by them. Of course, the drive summary, well, it's not much of one. One play, 1 yard, 4 seconds.
Yeah, 4 seconds. Yeah, actually 6 yards. One because, they got the penalty. But, yeah, in the long run, it was a – but, hey, you know what? You're on top of it, though, and that's what I like about it, right? 1st and 10. Jimmie's trailing 10-0. John Grant out of the shotgun will take the snap. Play action, wants to throw. Rolling near side, throws in the flat. Powell with the catch. Shakes a tackle as he got to the 26. Dives ahead near the 29.
Free thought it was free play.
Yeah.
Instead, now it's 3rd and you're behind the chains.
My goodness. So here comes 3rd down and 11. That was a weird set of circumstances. 5 receivers in an empty backfield for the Jimmies. This is a big play trying to answer the Vikings score from a moment ago. Shotgun snap to Grand, dropping back, pressured but throws. Pass caught over the middle, short of a 1st down, picked up by Dawson Schmidt. It'll come to the 29-yard line. Gavin Gerhardt, another stop. He's having a big day today for the Vikings, and it's going to be 4th and 1. And do the Jimmies want to roll the dice from their own 29-yard line? They're sending Zach Hammond into the game. It looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field, needing a yard. So they pick up 10. 4th and 1, and now Coach Mistro wants to talk about some before they make the decision. See if Jaden Babiak's available here, Jaden.
Guys, I was on the Vikings sideline, and it appears that tight end Austin Richter, who Noah Chambers connected with in the big play, and is going to be out the remainder of the game. On the train, so more Richter for the Vikings. Again, after that miscue by Jamestown Jimmie's on the punt. Took Richter to the table, and he hasn't moved since then.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Austin Richter had that great move running down the interior.
I'm out. For last week.
Oh, they were my that's yeah, like so it floats over here, so like we're moving around all the time, but the process is still there. All go there like 10 minutes. Gotcha. Yeah, so that's why it's the shortest. What if I just quit recording? What are you gonna do then? Get fined by the NCAA. Like if somebody was to go restrict me to something like this. Guys are sweating. Just toss it. Oops. Guys, it got real. It started raining or something. I don't know. Something.
After he play is confirmed. Third down.
Shit, my bad, guys. Sorry.
Big time will be turned. Timeout.
They don't have to hurry yet. There's still a minute left, and they're, 24 yards away, so they don't have to be in a big rush.
Inside a minute to go. John Grant takes the snap, throwing middle, pass incomplete, and it was in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Gage Solano. There may be a flag down as well.
That was a very late flag that came into an area where literally nobody was.
Was there a hold against the Jimmies on the pass protection that was seen late?
Illegal man downfield. That's what it is.
That's a tight call, if that's what they're going to call. Let's see what it's going to be here. Yeah, if it's an ineligible receiver downfield, but, it's going to be declined by the Vikings. They're going to take the down, not the distance. But that ball came out of John Grant's hands so quickly that hard to imagine a lineman got downfield enough to elicit the flag, but they throw it, and there's been a point of emphasis to call that. We've seen it more this year than really we've seen in years gone by. So they're looking for it this time around. Might have spied one. Second down and 10, incompletion. Stops the clock with 53 ticks left of the opening half. Vikings leading 17-0 on the LaRue Laco Financial Gun and Reel scoreboard. Grant out of the shotgun, taking the snap, facing pressure, throwing coffin corner. Schumacher has the catch. It's a touchdown for the Jimmies.
You cannot put a ball in a better spot than John Grant just put the football. My goodness, what a grab in the back corner by Colton Schumacher. The safety was late getting over because, again, it's a quick throw, and John Grant just puts it on the money.
Terrific back shoulder throw for a 24-yard touchdown pass for the Jimmies. Comes with 48 seconds left till the break. And the Jimmies back in striking distance, down 17-6 to the convert, pending Anand Peterson on the field. The snap is in the turf again. Peterson's kick just barely cleared the crossbar, but it is no good. He missed it wide left, and the Jimmies leave a point on the field. 17-6, new score on our LaRue Laco Financial Hillerud Construction scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation and Gun and Reel Sports. We're back with more in a couple of moments. This is our coverage of Viking and Jimmie football on Jamestown 107.1 and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Before you can start building a business, you have to have great builders. Hillerud Construction is a builder of high-quality commercial buildings, and they're hiring talented labor and carpenters to help them do just that. Vacation, paid holidays, 401k, and health insurance benefits for full-time employees, plus great pay depending on experience. Apply at 1008 2nd Avenue Southeast, Jamestown, or visit HillerudConstruction.com. Again, visit HillerudConstruction.com, and let's get building.
Well, the Jimmies do what they need to do. They get down the field against the Viking defense playing off a little bit, and John Grant connects with Colton Schumacher, back shoulder throw for a 24-yard touchdown catch to put the game back to an 11-point margin at 17-6, and a very wobbly kickoff ends up going to the far sideline and out of bounds. The Vikings left 48 seconds to work with and a timeout to work with as well. See if Jaden Babiak is standing by on our Viking sideline. Jaden, go ahead.
Ryan, big touchdown there for the Jimmies, obviously missing the extra point. That's the second time the kicker has missed through the uprights here today, but a bit of a momentum swing. The fans back into this, the sideline back into this. It's going to get interesting in the second half.
All right, and the Jimmies, as DJ alluded to, get the football to start the second half of play. Meanwhile, the Vikings, 48 seconds left in a timeout. We'll see how they play this. Noah Chambers back on the field with four receivers and Legarius Marshall in the backfield with him. The Jimmies show blitz off the right edge. Chambers looking to recognize it, takes the snap, gives to Legarius Marshall on first down. Not a lot there, and the Vikings might not be looking for a lot. They'll have to snap it one more time before we go to the locker room.
7 plays, 62 yards, a minute, 7 seconds on that touchdown drive for the Jimmies to cut the deficit to 11. But now Peterson just 13 of 18 on extra points this year.
It's a tough situation, obviously, when you're in that kind of spot. And, leaving points on the field in games like this can be a difficult situation to have to survive. Just one of those things. The Vikings will take a knee And that's going to be the end of this one in the opening half today. And the Vikings will take an 11-point lead into halftime. Not as bad as it looks for the Jimmies, not as good as it looks for the Vikings. The botched punt led to the first touchdown. The Vikings had a solid drive, and the Jimmies had one at the end of the opening half. And right now it's an advantage for the Vikings by 11 points as we go to the locker room. Our intermission report coming up here in just a couple of moments, and our halftime report in Valley City brought to you today by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. We'll take a break. We'll come back here at Hanson Stadium, take a look through the numbers and the scoring summary. We'll also have a look at regional news once again here in the halftime report, and David Burrell, the voice of the Jimmies on Jamestown 107.1. Conversation with Cole Mack that we'll have for you coming up at halftime as well. So lots to do as we go into our halftime report. The Vikings lead by 11 after 1. Your score once again on the Gun and Reel Sports and LaRue Lacroix Financial scoreboard is the Vikings 17, the Jimmies 6. Halftime is next on Viking and Jimmie Football.
Two Rivers Activity Center in Jamestown is hiring. Do you like interacting with people? Do you enjoy a fun, upbeat atmosphere and a clean workspace? If so, the perfect opportunity awaits you at Track. They're currently hiring for a variety of part-time positions for lifeguard and guest service and wellness attendants. They'll work with your existing schedule, whether you already have another job or are a college student. Check out trackjamestown.com to learn more about these positions and how to apply today.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
At Essentia Health, we know that together we can live healthier. We also know that the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones is to get vaccinated. That's why Essentia Health encourages everyone to get a flu shot this fall. Flu season usually starts in October and can last until May, so it's important to get vaccinated early. Vaccines are covered by most insurances and are available for people 6 months of age and older. Schedule your flu shot online today at essentiahealth.org/flu or call your local Essentia Health clinic or pharmacy to learn more.
We welcome you to halftime here at Hampton Stadium in Jamestown today. We're at the break. The VCSU Vikings lead the University of Jamestown Jimmies by a score of 17-6. Before we go into our halftime report that we have for you today, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Viking and Jimmie
This
Football.
is 1490 KOVC AM Valley City and 96.3 K242CZ Valley City.
Ryan Cunningham, Jaden Babiak on our sideline, B.J. Walters to my left here in our broadcast studios here today at Hampton Stadium, where the Vikings and Jimmy square off in what could be the final matchup. Certainly will be the final matchup for a while. Never know when it might come around again. And the Vikings right now with a 17-6 lead over the University of Jamestown as the Vikings take advantage of a miscue as far as a punt was concerned in the opening half. I think that's probably the big play that stands out. But then what's lost in it is the really impressive drive the Vikings had on the ground. And the difference, BJ, probably as we take a look at these numbers today, is going to be the difference in how the Vikings ran the football. The Jimmies are on the wrong side of zero when it comes down to rushing yardage right now.
And most of that on the snap that was just way over the punter's head. But even if you take that play out, Zach Hammett, 5 carries, 5 yards. Carlos Julian, 3 carries, 6 yards. John Grand, 2 carries, 1 yard. That's not going to get it done.
So without the punt, you still have just 12 yards rushing the football. But what's hidden in this is John Grand, a decent day throwing the football, really high completion percentage.
14 of 18, 107 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown to Colton Schumacher, who leads the team in receiving yards, 4 catches for 56 yards. The one thing that I would say is when they have gone quick down the field, they've been more successful than trying these screens and things of that nature. For instance, Dawson Schmidt, very good receiver, 3 catches for 7 yards. That's because the Vikings have been very good at rallying to the football.
Yeah, they have been able to do that today. Noah Chambers, 6 of 13 for 70. Legarius Marshall's the guy that stands out right now for the Vikings. 12 carries, 54 yards, and the Vikings using the ground game to burst out to this lead. Colton Schumacher, as BJ alluded to, 4 catches for 56, the lone touchdown. How about Evan Lorenzo with a 46-yard field goal? That's also something that kind of stands out in the game right now.
It certainly is. And Lorenzo comes in, you know, he hit from 47 at Mayville State earlier this season, and he's actually having a decent year. He's hit 8 field goals, the freshman from Madrid, after a good start to his Viking career.
Yeah, the Vikings had a young kicker last year, lost him, and literally days before the school year started had to hit the free agent market and found Evan Lorenzo, and he comes up with a 46-yarder in the paint bucket game over here in Jamestown. We talked about making memories. That's a nice one to make.
I tell you what, you need a kicker. Madrid, Spain, probably not the worst place to find one.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a great stop to make there. Defensively, the Vikings, 3 tackles from Gavin Gerhardt, who's been aggressive. Emmanuel Spahey has 3 today as well for the Jimmie's. Jen Rance with 4. Tyler Dean with 4. A couple of nice defensive games for the Jimmies today.
And Daniel Erlinson with 5, including 4 solos. So it's the defensive line for Jamestown, but it's the defensive line after Legarius Marshall is 5 or 6 yards down the field. That's the problem. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in the second half if you're Jamestown.
That'll take us to our halftime break. It's brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good at Rambo. They're the home for all of your promotional products. At Rambo, you can get custom apparel, you can get custom promotional items. They'll get it done for you fast, and they'll make sure that it's done right. Rambo, we're in the business of making you look good. Some regional news, and we'll be checking in. The voice of the Jimmies, David Burrell, catching up with Cole Mack, one of the regular features on Jimmie football. So we'll have that for you coming up here in a couple of moments from Hanson Stadium here in Jamestown. At the break, the Vikings lead the Jimmies by a score of 17-6. More halftime when we continue on Viking and Jimmie football.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Quick Lane Jamestown is looking to add to their dynamic team of auto maintenance technicians. Business continues to grow and grow, and they need to expand their staff. Are you a mechanical soul who'd like to work in a modern, clean, and busy shop? Light-duty work includes oil changes, tire rotates, vehicle inspections, maintenance and upkeep, and more. While working alongside an experienced team, and did we mention you get to work in an air-conditioned and heated shop? Competitive wages and benefits offered. Apply online through Facebook or StoutCars.com. Call 701-252-2270 or simply stop by. Claim your career today at RM Stout.
This is Dr. Amanda Hess, physical therapist with Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Valley City, Lisbon, Gwinnett, and Enderlin. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. From sports injuries to work-related injuries, neurological diagnosis, and pediatric development delays, we will evaluate and educate you on your conditions, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Sign-on bonuses, $10,000 for full-time RNs or LPNs working PM or NOC shifts, and $10,000 for full-time NOC weekend package positions, and $5,000 for part-time PM shifts. Also offering $5,000 for full-time CNAs working PM shifts or weekend package, day, PM, or NOC shifts. Dietary positions available also. Apply at smphealth.org/Ave Maria.
With a check of regional news this hour, I'm Ryan Cunningham. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum will be Donald Trump's Secretary of the Interior, according to a statement from the president. Trump made the announcement Thursday during an America First Policy Institute gala at his Mar-a-Lago home in Palm Beach, Florida. Burgum attended the event and would succeed Interior Secretary Deb Haaland. The North Dakotan would oversee the National Park Service, the U.S. Geological Survey, Fish and Wildlife Services and several bureaus, including Indian Affairs and Land Management. Burgum is 68. He served as North Dakota's governor since 2016. Native of Arthur, North Dakota, decided to not to seek, a third term for office this year. Trump said he's going to head the Department of Interior, and he's going to be fantastic. North Dakota will be footing the bill for Senator Yana Myrdal's defense in a lawsuit over her blocking a constituent on social media. Legislative Management, which functions as a legislative assembly between sessions, voted 10-4 Thursday to pay Myrdal's legal fees. Those fees came out to be exactly $40,000. Mitchell Sanderson of Park River accused Myrdal of Edinburgh of violating his First Amendment rights after the senator blocked him on Facebook for leaving repeated politically charged comments. After being tossed out by lower courts, the state Supreme Court unanimously ruled to dismiss the lawsuit on November 8th because Myrdal's Facebook account was personal and not operated using government resources. Sanderson was ordered to pay Myrdal $4,975. Legislative Management's decision to reimburse Myrdal marks the first time a legislator will be paid back personal litigation costs in North Dakota. We'll have more regional news after this.
Cattle producers, join us Friday, January 17th at 10:30 a.m. for a free and informative discussion on pasture, range, and forage insurance hosted by Carl Hoppe, NDSU's Area Extension Specialist on Livestock Systems. Plan for a full day, as well as we'll have a big trade show, a free grain marketing seminar, the Ag in the Classroom exhibits, and our free Farmers Appreciation Lunch sponsored by Unison Bank. For a full seminar schedule and booth space information, call 701-252-1400 or visit newsdakota.com.
Whether it's turning into high school football games, monitoring the patterns of incoming storms, or catching your favorite talk show, these are just some of the ways listeners depend on North Dakota's AM radio stations. And we need your help. Text AM 52886 and tell Congress to keep AM radio in cars. This ad is aired by the North Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Anheuser-Busch will shut down operations at its Moorhead malt plant and redirect the grain to be processed by a Twin Cities area company in 2025. Anheuser-Busch says it's reached an agreement with Rahr Malting Company to take on the full capacity of malt production for Moorhead. As a result, the Moorhead, Minnesota Malt House will be closing. Any new supply of North Dakota, Minnesota barley will be redirected to Rahr's Shakopee Malt House. Anheuser-Busch's elevators in West Fargo and Sutton, North Dakota, will be posted for sale. The company says its plans will not impact any grower partnerships. Anheuser-Busch has over 250 growers across the Midwest, including North Dakota and Minnesota, which, according to the company, is more than any other brewer. And a Fargo man was arrested after leading West Fargo police on a pursuit. Shortly before 1 a.m. Thursday, police tried to pull over Austin Muck for a traffic violation. Muck drove off and went where officers had to use a pit remover to stop the vehicle in a residential area. Muck was arrested on a long list of charges: felony fleeing in a motor vehicle, 1, possession of meth, another, and driving under the influence. No further information is available in the investigation, but charges will be going in front of a court shortly. With a check of regional news this hour, I'm Ryan Cunningham reporting.
Rambo, a proud sponsor and fan of Viking and Highliner Athletics, has been serving North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota with quality logoed apparel and promotional products since 1979. With online store options built to meet the needs of your company, organization, or team, Rambo will ensure that the process of ordering is easy and accurate, and that your items are received on time. When you're ready to put your logo to work, give Matt a call at 701-680-9585. Rambo, we're in the business of making you look good.
The Frontier Fort invites you in for a true Dakota Territory dining experience. This unique location looks like an authentic 1800s fort. Head upstairs and you'll be greeted with the mouth-watering aroma of freshly grilled ribeyes and barbecued ribs. They're open from 4 to 9 Monday through Saturday, and their legendary prime rib is served on Fridays and Saturdays. Now hiring a full-time or part-time cook. Call 252-7492. The Frontier Fort, on the road to the Buffalo, Jamestown.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Welcome back to halftime here at Hampton Stadium in Jamestown today, where we've reached the intermission and the Jimmies lead the Vikings by a score. I'm sorry, let's try that again. Take two. Engineer, use take two. Where the Vikings lead the Jimmies by a score of 17-6 here today. Final game of the regular season and final game of the season period, and the final in a while between the Vikings and the Jimmies in this great rivalry that has been waiting for the Jimmies to come down. I believe that Jaden Babiak will have a word with Brian Mistro, the head coach of the University of Jamestown, coming up. Let's take a look at our scoreboard. You have some scores from around the NSAA and then also the NSIC for those Jimmy fans that are looking ahead. So, BJ, without further ado, take it away. Run some scores at us on our Gun and Reel Sports and LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard.
Well, Dakota State's playing in Dickinson against Dickinson State, and the score is, well, live stats are dead, so there is no score. NSIC, Bemidji State in a win and in the playoffs situation. They lead Augustana at the half 7-3. MSU Moorhead 45-3 over UMary. Duluth over Mankato 30-9 in the fourth quarter. Minot State over Winona 35-0 at halftime. Sioux Falls over Southwest 31-7 at the half, and Wayne State over Concordia St. Paul in the fourth 21-0. It seems as though Augustana, Wayne State, they're definitely in the D2 playoffs. Again, if Bemidji holds on against Augustana, they're in as well.
All right, so a lot of things happening there as far as the playoff picture is concerned in the NSIC today, and the real score that matters is Dickinson State in the NSAA has won the conference. That is over. They're going to the playoffs. The thing that's left to be determined will be the seeding. How about some surprises? Last night, NSAA conference volleyball tournament, Dakota State upends the fourth-ranked team in the nation, University of Jamestown, and the Jimmies. And so today, the championship matchup will be between Bellevue and Dakota State, and I'm not sure what impact that's going to have on the University of Jamestown seeding going into the national tournament. So that'll be interesting. Jaden's over there looking for Coach Mistro. He didn't recognize Coach Mistro went by him, so Jaden's going to have to run his way back over here. We're going to try to get him to come back over, because I think if we don't catch it, we don't catch it. Hopefully we'll be able to get there. Our sideline reports that we have for you today are brought to you by RM Stout. That's RM Stout bringing you our sideline reports today. They brought you our kickoff as well for those of you in Jamestown. So getting ready to start the second half of this one, and again, the Vikings leading the Jimmies by a score of 17-6. Very importantly here, the Jimmies are going to have the opening second half possession, and so there's going to be a situation coming up here very quickly where this will be kind of a game-turning type of thing. If the Jimmies don't get down the field and do some scoring on this possession, then it's going to be an interesting venue. And so we'll have to, we'll see what the Jimmies can do as far as rallying coming up here to start this second half. One of the picturesque type moments that we can tell you here. So here it is, middle of November. Sun already beginning its declination, right? So the shadows are changing very quickly. How quickly this moves, where the end of August we come out here and it's 90 and we sweat our tail feathers off, right? And it's one of those things, hot and humid. And then all of a sudden here it's November and it's getting cool and the sun's going down early, and that's the end of the football season, BJ. It's just it's over after today, you know?
And even though the sun is on, you know, one side of the field, no curtain controversies here. We're just going to continue to get to play the game as though the sun is where it always is, correct?
Absolutely, yep. So,
$100 million freaking stadium, and you can't put a curtain on.
You don't need a curtain. Come on. This is real football.
Not here you don't. Apparently you do in Jerry's house, because the real question is, where's the moon? Never mind the sun, where's the moon?
Well, the Cowboys are a completely different situation, okay? That's not, let's not bring them up. As a matter of fact, I want to thank all the fans out there that sent me a meme today in my text messages that I received on my way to the stadium that showed that this season, Jake Paul has a win at AT&T Stadium, and the Cowboys do not. So Jake Paul has more wins now at AT&T Stadium after beating Mike Tyson last night.
That's right.
Than the Cowboys have won games this year. All right, we've got it all put together. Let's go to the sideline. Jaden?
Coach, thanks for being here with me. What are some of the adjustments that you talked to your team about at halftime?
We need to play more disciplined football, and we need to have our guys do their 111. We got 10 guys doing something right and one guy doing something wrong, and they're exposing it. We need to make sure that our guys are locked in and ready to go.
Absolutely. And one more question for you before we let you go here. What does that touchdown near the end of the half mean for you guys for the momentum, obviously down early?
Hey, let's go double this thing up long when we get the ball back.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
And Brian Mistro on the sideline with Jaden Babiak today, and the message there saying everybody's got to do their 111 is the way he put it, and they're exposing the one guy that isn't. And in the long run, you know what it's going to take, though. When you take a look at that drive the Vikings had to score their second touchdown, that wasn't a 111th type of thing. Not to disagree with Coach Mistro, but that Viking offensive line, if there's a unit that's kind of consistently won the game today, it's been the Viking offensive line. They've really performed well this afternoon.
It certainly has. And I think Coach Mistro will have gone into that locker room and said, guys, you can't run for 12 yards and expect to win a football game.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, officially with the botched punt snap, the Jimmies had negative 15 yards rushing at halftime. Now, as far as from scrimmage without the botched punt snap, they had 12 yards rushing at halftime. Neither of those figures is going to get it done. You got to run the football a little bit, or you put your quarterback in a really tough spot. And the Jimmies get set to return the upcoming kickoff. We'll once again see number 18 for the University of Jamestown, Erastus Ancino, going back to return the kickoff for the University of Jamestown. One of three that's back, but Ancino will be the deep man. And the Vikings will kick the football away with Evan Lorenzo to start the second half. So here comes what could be the final half of football between the Vikings and the Jimmies for quite some time. We're not sure when, if ever. I think both teams would like to. We can talk more about that in the post-game report. Lorenzo to kick it away for the Vikings. Second half is underway. High end-over-end kick, not particularly deep, and a fair catch is taken at the 11-yard line by Ray Venner for the University of Jamestown. And so, last week in the Viking game that Valley City State had against Dickinson State, the Vikings had an inadvertent fair catch signal that was called against Xavier Westbrook on a play like that. And the Jimmies will opt for the 25 as they make the fair catch on the kickoff, so not the 11, but the 25. And here comes John Grant out of the shotgun. The Jimmies down 11 to start the second half of football. They're moving away from the sun here in this third quarter, and that could be a big factor. Graham taking the snap, giving away to Zach Hammett. Stretch play near side, big hole. 30, spins his way out to the 33-yard line. That's a solid gain of 7, perhaps 8 yards right off the opening crack for Zach Hammett. He didn't have much to go with at all back in the opening half.
Thomas Pettinger and Cole Mack, whatever the message was, they received it quite well because they pushed some people off the line of scrimmage on that first play.
It's a gain of 8, and it's second down and 2. That's probably the best running play that the University of Jamestown has had throughout the course of the afternoon. Jimmy's will send Gage Solano wide to the far side of the field. 4 receivers again. And Grant out of the shotgun on second down and 2. Play action, Grant to throw, pressured, throw screen pass. It's caught far side of the field, and a toe step tackle is made after Isaiah Roebuck made the catch. Toe step tackle made by Malachi Torres for the Vikings out of the foul boundary. They'll take it out to the 37-yard line. Gain of about 6, but if Malachi Torres doesn't reach back, Roebuck's going a long way. It's 1st and 10 Jimmy.
Yeah, nice. I think that may have been Hoffman on the reception, but they fake the handoff right and throw it back left. The misdirection really confused the Vikings right there.
So here's 1st and 10 for the University of Jamestown at the 38-yard line. 3 receivers to the right side this time, part of 4. Grand quick throw again. Pass is caught on the far side of the field by Solano, and he's spun down almost immediately by Emmanuel Spivey for Valley City State. Ball will be spotted at the 41-yard line for a gain of 3. One thing the Jimmies are doing, they're not allowing the Viking pass rush to get out. And the Vikings have had a very good pass rush this year. John Grant taking no time to release the football.
Yeah, he's taking one step, and that makes me almost think that he sees and reads this defense very well because he's taking the snap, taking one step, and throwing it.
Or there's one place to go with it, too. We haven't seen him in a place where he's checked down throughout the day. Here's another quick throw. Roebuck trying to catch the football, didn't. It's incomplete, went right through his hands. Correction, Ethan Hoffman was the man that was the intended receiver on that, and Hoffman got his hands on it. The pass was a bit high, but it's one of those that Hoffman's going to want back, and it puts the Jimmies in a tough spot. Here's 3rd and 7. Big play for the Viking defense trying to get off the field early here in this third quarter.
And that's the same play that they ran to the opposite side in the first half, that little screen to the 3-receiver side of the field.
12:58 to go, third quarter. Big second half play. 3rd and 7, Jimmie's, their own 41. Hammett to the left of Grant in the backfield. Grant takes the shotgun snap, throws middle, pass incomplete. Had to hurry it. Solano was the intended target, and he had to hurry it in the hook. And we're seeing a lot of this. It makes me a little bit concerned, actually, for the Jimmies, as John Grant looked at one route on every single one of those pass plays, and BJ, you saw it. He was looking one place, one step. Do not let the pass rush go. That's going to be, I mean, you can make success like that, but it's just going to be tough to have prolonged success on a drive like that.
It certainly is. It's so quick. It's so decisive. One bad thing, and look out.
Brooks Butt punts the football. Driving, spiraling kick over the head of Michael Olsen. Rolling, and did they get to it before it got in the end zone? We've got an official taking a look at it. Touchback. They did not quite get to it. That ball was rolling to the 2 and the 3, and they had a chance, and I've got a group of Jimmie fans right outside of us here, right below us out on the balcony, and they both kind of did the same thing. It's just been one of those days where you can use the big play. It's just this much out of reach, right, except for the throw to Schumacher for the touchdown. Vikings get it back with an 11-point lead.
You know, if I'm Valley City State, I don't change a single thing I did in the first half, really.
Run the football, establish the run, let Noah Chambers pick and choose his spots. We'll see. 1st and 10 Vikings at the 20. It'll be Legarius Marshall on the opening play, and Marshall stumbling forward and got held up after about a 2-yard pickup. Host of men there, led by Jet Rance again. And the Jimmies had some additional pressure coming in there as well from Mason Parker out of the linebacker core. But, boy, that's such a quick hitter. It turns out to be a 3-yard pickup, maybe 4. You don't really notice that until you take a look at the spot of the football. When Legarius Marshall had 4 yards on that play.
And that puts Marshall up over 60 yards on the game.
He's had a big day running the football for the Vikings. 2nd down and 6. Pair of receivers to the right. Vikings clad in their white with the Cardinal helmets today. Play action Marshall. Now Noah Chambers calling his own number, trying to spin out of a tackle of Jet Rance. And Rance will have him bottled up right at the 27-yard line for a gain of 3. Here comes another big play. I feel like we're going to say this is a big play a whole lot here in the third quarter. 3rd down, about 2.5. The Vikings trying to hold on to the football.
I'm a little surprised that it's not Thorsgaard coming in to run that spread quarterback read play. But
I think they want to make sure, you know, Chambers can run the football pretty well also when he has an opportunity to build speed. And it's the way they've kept people off balance against him in the past. Here comes 3rd down, 2.5 for the Vikings, just ahead of their own 27. 4 receivers, Chambers to throw, in trouble, pressured, sacked, back at the 22-yard line. It'll be Tyler Dean coming up with a quarterback sack for the University of Jamestown, and that is the first time this season that a Jimmie has recorded their 2nd quarterback sack, and it comes at a time when the Jimmies needed it most. 4th and 8, and the Vikings will have to punt the football, and the Jimmies are going to get pretty good field position.
They certainly should, especially when you consider punting into the wind, and the first one was not very good for Jim Miller.
Miller has the ability to spiral one. He likes to keep it low, get the roll, too. This one going to be angled far side of the field. Takes a pro Viking roll, and this is the big play the Vikings were looking for. That's going to roll some 15 yards after contact with a turf down to the Jimmie 30-yard line. I think that landed at about the 47-yard line and rolled 17 yards. 47-yard punt, no return, and the Jimmies will take it at the 30. It's not a big deal, but the Jimmies were hoping for better field position than that. Let's go to the sideline where we have Jaden Babiak standing by.
A lot of energy here on the first defensive stop for the Jamestown Jimmies on the 4-and-out after the quarterback sack. A lot of life here on the sideline. They're going to want to move the ball efficiently, talking about matchups on the sideline.
All right, thanks Jaden Babiak on our sideline here today. He's been great to have along with us here this this afternoon. 1st and 10, Jimmie's at the 30. Play action for John Grant, looking near side, wants it all against James Don. He got it all. It's caught by number 11, Isaiah Roebuck, to the end zone. 70-yard touchdown. A flag is down on the back end of the field. The Jimmies believe it'll be against Valley City State. Maybe a roughing the passer penalty, and this game is brand new as the Jimmies strike from 70 yards out. Let's get the penalty. It's going to be a personal foul against Georgie Magneo. And Georgie Magneo pleading his case on the way back up the field. He's frustrated. In the meantime, Isaiah Roebuck from 70 yards out from John Grant, and it's a 5-point football game.
For Roebuck on the season, that gives him now 4 touchdowns. That is easily the longest pass play of the season for him. 70 yards and in a heartbeat. I mean, this game was 17-0. The momentum has viciously swung the other way.
And now a 2-point conversion, which is important. If you get the 2-point conversion for the Jimmies, you're back within 3. Otherwise, going to take a touchdown. Grant out of the shotgun. Carlos Julian will be to his left. Grant to throw. Quick slam pass incomplete. All kinds of contact. Flags come out. Gavin Gerhardt, Emmanuel Spy there on the coverage, but Roebuck was the targeted man, and Roebuck had hands on him well before the ball got there, and so the Jimmies are going to get a second opportunity at the 2-point conversion.
You know, I'm not actually all that bothered by that, because on a 2-point play, if you're beat, just grab the guy. Sure. It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, if you're beat in that situation, and it did look like Roebuck had been able to turn his body and block out one of the defenders. But the ball will be moved to the 1-yard line. And so another 2-point conversion try coming up here for the University of Jamestown. Hammett's in the backfield out of the pistol for UJ. They'll continue to keep John Grant out of the shotgun. Grant overseeing, turn, Hammett right side looking for a hole, and Emmanuel Spy caught him behind the line of scrimmage. The pile refuses to stop, whistles all over the place, and the crowd wants flags. There were several men from both teams engaging, and I think the best thing we can say before we go to our break is that the 2-point conversion try will not be successful. The Vikings 17, the Jimmies 12. New score on our Gun and Reel and LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation and Hillerud Construction. Viking and Jimmie football continues next.
Buffalo City Diesel Jamestown is your one-stop shop for experienced truck services. Their top-notch techs are trained in the latest technology and can identify and fix problems in your medium or heavy-duty diesel trucks and buses. Buffalo City Diesel also offers roadside assistance, trailer services, and truck parts. Call Buffalo City Diesel today at 701-253-2844. That's Buffalo City Diesel at 701-253-2844.
Jimmie's back within 5 after a 70-yard touchdown strike from John Grant to Isaiah Roebuck makes it 17-12. Onside kick for the University of Jamestown. The Jimmies got it. The Jimmies have recovered an onside kick. However, they're going to say the ball, no, it will be Jimmie football. It looks like he was out of bounds. The recovery man at the 37-yard line, Mason Whitley, a defensive back out of Redfield, South Dakota, I believe is the man that recovered the football. And now UJ with brand new life as they go onside kick. And they'll come up with the football. The Viking, I believe 38 is where they'll put the ball.
And the whole reason, Ryan, why they go for that is because of the penalty.
Let's go down to the sideline. Jaden Babiak standing by.
Ryan, I heard that onside kick coming from a mile away. Coach Mistro down here saying onside to his offense. Get ready to go. Onside. Get ready to go. Jamestown with the ball.
And the Jimmie offense is ready to go. Johnny Grant takes the snap, hitch and go, trying to find a Roebuck again against Don, and this time James Don breaks it up. The Jimmie crowd wants the flag, but that was good coverage by James Don. Made the adjustment that time and got into Roebuck, but the Jimmie's trying to play home run ball once again, and why not? It'll be 2nd down and 10.
My goodness, you can tell how much the momentum has switched. The fact that Jamestown is just going for home run after home run now.
Well, they've got a matchup they think they can win, and that time James Don caught up to the football. He had given Roebuck a little space, but that time was able to close the gap, get a hand up, and knock the football away. And it's second down and 10 after the incompletion. 17-12, the Vikings by 5, but they led 17-0. Grand taking a shotgun snap, pressured, hit, got out of the sack. Rolling left side, Mosiah Rogers-Davao finishes off with DeQuez Chapman started. Davao brings him down, and Johnny Grand will go down for a quarterback sack back at the 42-yard line, and Mosiah Rogers-Davao with a big play for the Vikings to force a 3rd and 15.
And they probably needed something like that just to stem the tide a bit. Now you've got 3rd and 15, and it's in a very awkward spot of the field. On a play like this, you either want to convert or barely get any yards. That way your punter has some room to work with.
Or half and go for it on 4th down if that's what you're thinking. And they went for it on 4th and 1 inside their own 30, the Jimmies did. 3rd and 14, Grant out of the gun. Takes the snap, more pressure from the Vikings. Grant throws over the middle, pass is caught at the 14-yard line on a tremendous hit that Ethan Hoffman absorbed and sets up 1st and 10, officially at the 12. Hoffman got his bell absolutely rung coming over from Michael Olson, the free safety, but there is a flag down, and the Jimmies will be called for holding, and the hit that Hoffman absorbs will be all for naught. You will not see a better play by a receiver holding onto a football because Mike Olson can time you up like nobody's business, but in the end, it's going back to the Jimmie 48 on a holding penalty.
My goodness, he got absolutely obliterated. First off, it's a perfect throw again from John Grant, and then a perfect hit from Micah Olson. My goodness, put that on film and show everybody because that was a beautiful play aside from the hold.
95 times out of 100, that ball comes out. Mike Olson celebrating, and in this case, it's the one time out of 100 that it's a holding penalty that wipes it out. So here's 3rd down and 24. Back at the Jimmie 48-yard line. Grand dropping back, throws middle, pass, bobbled, picked up by the Vikings. They're going to rule incomplete.
They were going hook and lateral.
And they never got to set up the lateral because the hook in the long run didn't get caught. I think it was Hoffman that was targeted again. And so the Vikings will get a stop, get the football back, it would appear, as Brooks Bunt will come back onto the field to punt. But I'll tell you what, we got a wild sequence going on, and we got a Jimmie football team that's playing with house money. I mean, they are just emptying the tank right now, going down the field on everything. I like it. 2-7, last game against the Vikings. Why not, right? Butt pulls in a high snap, kick is away. Beautiful spiraling kick. Mike Olson catches up with it at the 13-yard line. And so it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Vikings at their own 13 with 8:39 to play in the 3rd quarter. Vikings with a 17-12 lead. Jaden Babiak on our sideline. Jaden?
Guys, the Jamestown sideline and a lot of the fans here not happy with some of the officiating. Think they deserve some calls. Didn't like that holding penalty. Obviously, it was the difference between a 1st down and a 3rd and 24 situation, but we'll keep an eye on that here on the sideline.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 14-yard line. With the Vikings leading 17-12, but reeling a bit, giving up 12 straight points to the Jimmies. Legarius Marshall looking for a hole up the middle, and the pile just continues to move Marshall. Again ahead of the 15, out to around the 18-yard line for a 4-yard pickup. There's all kinds of black shirts. Dan Erlinson, I think, is the man that gets out of the bottom of the pile with most of the stop. 6 yards to go. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Vikings after a 4-yard pickup. Now one of the Vikings shedding some hand gear. That's Legarius Marshall getting rid of his hand warmers. And here comes 2nd down and 6. Vikings putting Legarius Marshall back in the pistol. A look across by Noah Chambers. Chambers wants to throw. Throws over the middle. Pass caught. Trent Finney up to the 35-yard line. 1st down. Finney comes up with a big 1st down. Explosion as Kyle Williams comes up with a stop. But Finney will open on a touchdown potential down here. Didn't get hit, but the Vikings can target the tight end. That was open with Richter earlier. This time Finney in a 1st down.
And that's open again because of the threat of the run. They go hard play action, get a couple linebackers to bite, and then throw it just by their ears.
1st down and 10 Vikings, their own 35. Pair of receivers to the near side of the field. Chambers taking a look, going to shift a pair of tight ends, including Finney, to the near side of the football field. A long look is now the Jimmie defensive line widens out its stance, and it goes to an odd front. Legarius Marshall cutting back to the far side of the field, and Noah Chambers out there trying to throw a block as Marshall picks up 6. David Diaz Jr. comes up with a stop. Here's an adjustment that we're seeing. The Jimmies have gone to a 50 front. They're augmenting their line with a pair of backers that are now up on the line of scrimmage. That's been a tactic teams have used against the Vikings for years to try to slow down their running game.
And that's strictly because LeGarrett's having such a good game. And on that play, he cuts all the way back. Really nice job by the offensive line.
2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard pickup for Marshall. Jake Deutsch will motion across the formation. Chambers to throw. He's troubled and sacked back inside the 30-yard line. It'll be Parker Chafee coming free for the University of Jamestown. That may have been David Diaz getting back there as well. Diaz coming up with a stop on Chambers. That will drop him for a loss of 11 back to the 30-yard line. We're at 3rd and 15 for the Vikings.
And just simply overloaded a side of the offensive line that Valley City could not account for.
3rd and 15 for Valley City State. Jimmie Crowd becoming active again. A 5-point game. The Vikings leading 17-12. Chambers looking over the line with 4 receivers. They blitz him again. Chambers has to throw quickly. Nearly picked off. Ezra Bellieri, who's got 1 takeaway already today, nearly had another. But credit the blitz for affecting the quarterback. Chambers had to empty the gun early. And here comes the Viking punt unit once again.
All of a sudden, you mentioned how they switch up the front. Now there's going to have to be an adjustment on the far sideline because those last 2 plays, I mean, I'm sorry, Noah Chambers had no time at all to throw the football.
Well, the Jimmies have been disguising their blitzes really well. They come from different angles. Teams have done that throughout the year. Miller to punt, nearly blocked. There may have been a piece of this here.
Yep.
And the kick goes shanked over the Viking sideline. The Jimmies are going to take over inside the Viking 45. Let's see where they spot the football.
Looks like a 4-yard punt.
They're hanging out right around the 41-yard line. Now they're going to turn it upfield. 37.
Yeah.
So the ball will go to the 37-yard line. 7-yard punt at the end of that as Miller had to rush his kick as well. And now the University of Jamestown in prime position. They get the short field they wanted their last possession. 5:53 left to the 3rd. There's a lot of ball game here. The Vikings leading 17-12. The Jimmies rolling. John Grand back out in the shotgun. He'll motion Caleb Powell back to the line. There's movement. Vikings think it's against the University of Jamestown, and it's going to be against the University of Jamestown. Thomas Pettinger, the right guard, moving early. 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 15. Jaden Babiak standing by on our sideline. Jaden?
Ryan, before that false start penalty, this is the loudest I've heard the building. And the defense of the Jimmies, they're talking about adjustments, and they really like the adjustments they've made cutting me out of half.
And you can see that. They've been coming off the edge. They've been doing a lot of different things with their blitz packages, trying to confuse Noah Chambers. 1st and 15. John Grant again motioning Powell back to the line. Play action. Grant rolling. Going to throw screen pass. He's got Powell, and Powell got popped at the 40-yard line. That was a hit that came from Aiden Russell. Russell just put a shoulder down and hit Caleb Powell, knocked him flat. 2-yard pickup on the throw. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Interesting that the Vikings defense on these play action fakes are focusing so much on the running backs. I'm not sure if that's a game plan thing or what, because really the Jimmies have not run the football today.
They had the 1 8-yard pickup with Zach Hammett, and it's amazing how that one positive running play can change the tenor of a quarter, but it really has happened ever since that play. 2nd down, 13. 4 receivers, twins each way. Grand will turn. Carlos Julian behind a wall of blocking right side. Cut back over the middle, and then he lost the football. It's on the ground, and the Vikings say they have it back at the 14-yard line. Julian got spun around, cutting over the middle of the field. There's a fight going on. 2 flags come out. Gavin Gerhardt comes out of the bottom of the pile with the football, and we haven't yet seen an indication as to whose football it is. If it's Viking football, we're likely going to get a strew of personal foul penalties on the way that was handled. We haven't yet seen a ruling, but Gavin Gerhardt was all over the football on the bottom of the pile.
They did initially signal Vikings football, and I think that is a definite, but
and then
there's
we
a
had
lot to sort out.
We had a lot going on. They're set to mark the football back against the Vikings here. Let's see what they come up with. It will be Viking football. It'll be a half the distance to the goal penalty on an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Valley City State. So the Vikings will have first and goal from the 5.
And I'm not sure if we could hear what number that was on, which of course is important because if you get too unsportsmanlike, you're disqualified.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. If we see somebody walking off the field later dejectedly, we'll assume it was on them.
That's right.
But nonetheless, a costly turnover on what was going to be an explosive running play for the University of Jamestown. Viking offense back on the field, but backed up at their own 5-yard line. Legarius Marshall, he slips on a cutback looking for a face masking penalty. He's down at the 5.
And this is getting chippy. I don't know if you noticed it. David Diaz Jr. standing over Marshall clapping after he slipped on that play.
Yeah, we're going to see, and I would expect more of this because, you know, every once in a while, when you don't feel like you're going to see each other again, you might say a few things, and then that's the end of it, right?
That's right.
Somebody closes the door and storms out mad. Second down and 10 from the 5-yard line. Chambers waiting for a shotgun snap. He'll move Finney to his right. Legarius Marshall in the backfield with him. They'll give to Legarius Marshall. Stretch play right side, trying to turn a corner. Another flag is down, and that flag was thrown further than any pass so far today. That came streaking in from the far side judge. He threw his flag 25 yards. It landed at the 5, and it has to be a holding penalty because there isn't anything else it could be based on where that play was.
Now, that's only a 1-yard gain. I do wonder if Brian Mistro would, he's going to decline.
Yeah, decline the penalty, take the down instead of the distance.
Yep.
It is a holding penalty against Valley City State, and that penalty will be declined by the Jimmies. 1-yard pickup for Legarius Marshall.
He ran about 25 yards for that 1 yard.
Yeah, he did. Long stretch play. So here come the Vikings, 3rd down and 9 from their own 6.
And here comes the crowd.
Correction, 3rd and 8 from their own 7. Noah Chambers out of the shotgun. That Jimmie crowd tries to rally. Chambers, quick throw, right side. Davian Westbrook can't handle the football. So the Vikings are going to have to punt from deep in their own end zone. And another very dangerous moment here. Jaden Babiak standing by on the sideline. Jaden, what do you have?
Ryan, after the fumble from the Jimmie running back, Carlos Julian, Coach Brian Mistro brought him under his arm and had some words of encouragement for him. Couldn't quite make out what he said, but all smiles on the sideline for him. They know they're in this game. It's a one-score game here.
All right, so 4th down and 8 for the Vikings.
You need a good punt here.
Well, right now the deep man, Roebuck, is back at the Viking 40-yard line. This is a kick for Miller. That's his best of the day. It'll drive the ball back at least to the Viking 45. So with 3:53 left to go in the 3rd quarter, on our LaRue Laco Financial and Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard, it's 17-12. The Vikings over the Jimmies as the waning stage of the 3rd begin to draw upon us. And another very good game between these two. Again, we mentioned in the pregame report today, the 38-7 score that was on the board over in Valley City was an anomaly. That just wasn't the way that we thought this one would go. And it hasn't gone that way, particularly here in the second half. The Jimmies have won the 3rd quarter handily. John Grant out of the shotgun with 4 receivers. They'll motion one back towards the line of scrimmage. Grant takes the snap, play action. Wants to throw. Looking downfield, wide open receiver, overshot his mark. He had a wide open streaking Nate Burke, wide receiver out of Aurora, Colorado, who was open by 10 yards. And Burke just had that ball sail on him, couldn't quite catch up to it, and it's 2nd down and 10.
And that is something we have seen from John Graham this year, especially quarters where he has the wind at his back. He can overthrow some wide open receivers like he did on that one.
As you mentioned earlier, BJ, though, for the lack of success that the Jimmie running game has had today, the play action pass is certainly effective. However, Julian doesn't drop the ball. We're talking about something very different a couple of moments ago. Hammett this time right up the middle of the field. Tripped as he got to the 40. Looked like more than it was going to be. Loke Yese makes the stop after a gain of 5. And so here comes a crucial couple of snaps. 3rd down and 5 from the Viking 40. I have no reason to believe that the Jimmies are going to punt the rest of the game unless they have the lead.
Yeah, and if you're Valley City State, it seems so weird saying this. You need something to stop how this third quarter has gone. It has been so decisively one-sided so far.
A momentum play of some kind. You're right. 3rd down and 5. Pair of receivers to the right side of the field. Grand waiting shotgun, going to empty the backfield. Zach Hammett sends out far side whistle. Did a Viking end up going offside? Did a Jimmie move early? And it's going to be a false start penalty against the University of Jamestown. I haven't wanted to say it because it hasn't been one right after another, but you think about the hold, you think about the false starts that have put them back nearer behind the chains. That penalty situation is beginning to rack up a little bit against the University of Jamestown.
And it's something that has really hampered them throughout the course of the season. It's not always the amount of penalties, it is the when these things happen.
Clock just under 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Here comes 3rd down and 10. And now if you're the Jimmies and you don't gain positive yardage, you may rethink the punting situation. Play clock's at 5. Play clock's at 2. Play clock's at 1. Grand got the snap off. Drops back, has lots of time. Throwing deep again. And Schumacher, the intended target. 2 flags come out. Yeah, they're going to call James Don for forcing Schumacher beyond the boundary on pass interference. So the Jimmie's going to get a reset.
I think, and we see the officials talking about, was that ball catchable?
Yeah, they're talking about it. If the ball was uncatchable, they may decide that.
Because it was way out of bounds.
It was way over his head. It was out of bounds. And one official will come over and talk with our referee, and somebody's going to be sincerely pleased, and somebody is not going to be pleased at the end of this. I'm trying to read the body language of the Vikings here. They're not celebrating as of yet. Defensive holding. Okay,
sure.
We'll split the distance. That's what we'll do.
That's how you get out of the whole it's
right.
uncatchable thing, as you call it, hold.
Yeah, you threw the flag. It's uncatchable. You don't want to make the crowd happy. Well, we saw hold out there. All right. So 10-yard penalty. And it's a first down for the University of Jamestown to the Viking 35. With the clock down to 2:31 left to go here in the third quarter. So the Jimmies back to the line of scrimmage after a reset off the penalty. 4 receivers. Strip triangle bunch off the right edge. They'll motion tight end across the line of scrimmage. Grand, play action. Rolling near side, going to throw the hook, and the pass is knocked away incomplete. James Don made a great play on a ball to Ethan Hoffman. Deep in the hook over the middle of the football field on the near hash mark, and Don knocked it away.
Don makes the play, immediately cramps up, goes to ground, and still gives the defensive back incomplete signal. When you are committed to celebrating, there is nothing that will stop you.
Yeah. Right now he's got trainers out there on both legs trying to loosen him up, but he wanted to make sure that, I mean, he doesn't know if he's getting back in the game, right, with the cramps that he's got, so he's loosened up. He's going to have to leave the game for a play, but he'll be all right.
You will never stop a DB from celebrating, ever.
Well, let's face it. Defensive backs in college football were wide receivers in high school.
That's right.
And they don't want to be defensive backs. They're defensive backs for reasons. Usually because they don't catch the ball.
That's right.
Or else they've got some good contact skills, and so you don't get to celebrate touchdowns as a defensive back. You celebrate what you can.
That's right. I just love that he cramped up and was like, hold on, let me get this out there first.
Khalil Toney steps in as the new cornerback. I would expect the Jimmies take a shot at him almost immediately, and Colton Schumacher is lined up against him on the right side of the football field on 2nd down and 10. Don takes the snap. They'll give to Zach Hammett. Hammett cutting up on the near hash marks, runs out of a tackle by Toney, runs out of a couple more, and drives his way down near the 25. He could have been stopped for a gain of about 2. He's got 9. It'll be 3rd down and inches for the Jimmies, and now indefinite 4-down territory.
Jimmies are, wow, they give him the full 10 in the first down.
Yeah,
the Jimmies are starting to win the line of scrimmage. That's been a big change in this third quarter.
They were challenged by Brian Mistro to step into that role, and they seem to have answered the bell. And it's 1st down and 10 for the University of Jamestown of the Viking 25, with a clock down to 1:45 to play in the third. Single receiver each edge. And out of the pistol, Johnny Grand will take the snap. He's in trouble. Throws early, far side of the field, and here comes another flag. Here comes 2 flags. Khalil Toney's mad, but, I mean, there's nothing to be mad about if you're Khalil Toney. At some point, you've got to address the football. Isaiah Roebuck's over there with his jersey pulled off his shoulder pad. I mean, there was clearly going to be something that was going to happen there. And actually, my correction, that's not Isaiah Roebuck. That's Nate Burke, who was the intended receiver for the Jimmies, and clearly pass interference. Coach McCulloch's a little unhappy about it, but Khalil Toney's out there playing for James Don, who cramped up a couple of moments ago, and you just can't do that. You can't have your hands up full of a receiver.
And I'm not real sure how you can argue that when the receiver's shoulder pad is showing after the play.
Yeah, they call that physical evidence is what they call that.
That's right.
First down and 10. They haven't even adjudicated the penalty as of yet, and the Jimmies are ready to go to the line of scrimmage. They've got some momentum here. First and 10, the University of Jamestown.
They went the full 15 instead of half the distance. That's a little odd. Okay.
First and 10, actually first and goal, rather, from the 10-yard line. Zach Hammett looking up the middle, stopped in the backfield. Georgie Magneo got to him, and there will be a host of a pile-up to keep him right at the 10. But Georgie Magneo coming up with the opening contact.
He won twice on that play. He makes the tackle. Before that, he shoved Thomas Pittenger directly into Zach Hammett.
Yeah, the Vikings are going to need a lot of the Magneos up on the defensive line at this point with the clock down to 1:10 to go. Right now, a Viking win would be to force a field goal try and try to keep this a lead for Valley City State, as their offense has one first down in the second half, and that's it. Time of possession heavily favoring the Jimmies here in the third quarter. Second down and goal for the Jimmies from the Viking 10.
Gotta hurry.
3 receivers, left side, play clock down to 1. Johnny Grant takes the snap. Dropping back, flush to the left side. Rolling and looking. Doesn't really have a target. Sets up, throws back at the end zone, incomplete. Khalil Toney was on coverage again. There was more contact, but the official decides to look away from it. And this is a big, huge play now. Third down and goal from the 10. If you're the Jimmies, you probably opt for 3, because if you get 3, a field goal will give you the lead later, but the place-kicking situation hasn't been as effective as you'd like this afternoon.
On that play, the moment that Grand rolled out, I thought he had some room to operate. Instead, he just looked to throw it.
Here comes third down and goal for the Jimmies from the Viking 10. Play clock at 5 seconds. Grand looking to the right side of the field, takes the snap, a little flat-footed, throws looking for Schumacher, that's incomplete. And here comes fourth down, and decision time coming up here for the Jimmies. Let's go to the sideline. We have Jaden Babiak standing by. Jaden?
Guys, obviously fourth down, Jamestown has a decision to make, but from the Valley City State sideline, James Don, a sophomore defensive back, looked to be limping off. He was upset. He was in pain. Going to go with a lower body injury at this time. I don't see it being too serious.
All right, thank you, Jaden. And here comes a field goal try for the University of Jamestown. Anand Peterson. This will be from 27 yards. Good snap. The spot is down. Kick is on its way. Low line drive, but good. And the Jimmies have scored 15 unanswered points. 31 seconds left in the third quarter. On the LaRue Lacko Financial Gun and Reel scoreboard, it's the Vikings 17, the Jimmies 15. We have a timeout for Hillerud Construction and Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. More Viking Jimmy football on the way next.
Well, all the summer vacation driving is over, and now it's time for school activities driving. Have you looked at your tires? How many miles are on them? How's that tread? The wear? Are they cupping? Bring your vehicle to Mike and the crew at Pit Stop Express Lube. Have them take a look. As a locally owned shop, they care more about you and your family's safety than that sale. So they'll recommend the best fit for your needs. Stop in the Pit Stop Express Lube at 117 4th Street Northwest, Jamestown, or call 952-7867. That's 952-7867.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on Jimmy and Viking football.
The voice of the Valley, 1490 KOBC AM Valley City and 96.3 K242CZ Valley City.
Ryan Cunningham, B.J. Walters, Jaden Babiak with you today from Hanson Stadium here at the University of Jamestown. 15 unanswered points for the Jimmies. Vikings lead by 2, 17-15. Annan Peterson will kick this one away. Xavier Westbrook with a shoulder-high catch at the 8-yard line. Looking for a middle return, now trying to find a wedge. Got spun down inside the 20, or actually rather inside the 25. The Vikings will take over circa their 23-yard line. So 17-15, the Viking offense has been bottled up. they absolutely need something to change the tenor of this conversation, and it can't be done with their defense. They've got to get their offense involved.
164 yards in the first half for Valley City State. So far in the second half, 25.
Yeah, it's been a really anemic second half of play for the Vikings offensively. Out of the gun, Noah Chambers takes the snap, wants to throw screen pass, and Legarius Marshall dropped the football.
That's 2 straight drops if you go back to third down on the previous drive, and they're not helping Noah Chambers very much.
Well, you know, those are supposed to be extension of running game type of plays, and Legarius Marshall got to make that catch, right? That's one thing, but the other part of it, early in the game, we saw the Jimmies drop a few of those, and maybe they're getting more into their comfort zone now, and the Vikings, not with the momentum, they're going to try to force and rush some things, and that's going to happen in those situations. Second down and 10. Chambers looking to give the ball away to Legarius Marshall, who's spun out of a tackle. Now trying to reverse his field far edge, down behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 21. David Diaz Jr., he continues to make his mark for the Jimmies here in the second half. And it could be a very short possession as time is about to run out. We're going to flip the field, and the fourth quarter in this rivalry, as it comes to a conclusion for a while, has a 2-point lead for the Vikings, and the Jimmies with the momentum here at Hanson Stadium. Through 3 on our LaRue Laco Financial and Gun and Reel scoreboard. The Vikings 17, the Jimmies 15. A timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation and Hillerud Construction. The fourth quarter comes up next.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places, whether it's from your friends, your dog, or a memory. Embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Well, it comes down to 15 minutes. The game not decided. Vikings 17, Jimmie's 15 as we start the fourth quarter of football from Hanson Stadium on the campus of the University of Jamestown. Ryan Cunningham, B.J. Walters, Jaden Babiak with you. The Vikings face 3rd and 11 at their own 22. The Jimmies have scored the last 15 points after the Vikings rolled out to a 17-0 lead. 4 receivers. A drop back for Chambers. He's got nothing but orange and black in his grill, and he's down on the quarterback's back. Tyler Dean. That's 2 today for Tyler Dean. He'll take down Noah Chambers back at the 9, and the Vikings are going to give the Jimmies another short porch.
And I think you and I were talking during that break. Just to change things up, I think Avery Thorsgaard needs to come into this football game.
Yeah, throw another wrinkle at the running game here against the University of Jamestown, because one thing you can see with Legarius Marshall is the Jimmies are keying solely on him in the running game right now. If Avery's available, could he come in and change it up? Now, he was injured last week, not in the game last week, couldn't play last week. Jim Miller to punt for the Vikings, and it's blocked, and it's recovered by Ezra Bellinghari for a touchdown. He literally caught the ball off the foot of Jim Miller. He came in, blocked the punt, and caught it in the same motion. The ball may have never cleared Miller's foot. Ezra Bellinghari may have took it right off of Jim Miller's foot. The Jimmies score in a block punt and take the lead.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think I've ever seen a player literally take the ball before it reached the punter's foot. Incredible.
Anand Peterson will attempt the extra point, with the Jimmies now up 4, looking to make it a 5-point lead. Extra point kick, his best of the day. And it's 22-17, the Jimmies, on a once-in-a-lifetime type of play by Ezra Bellinghari, who has been the defensive player of the game against the Vikings twice for the University of Jamestown, delivers the Jimmies the lead by a 5-point margin early in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. The ball did not hit the ground. Bellinghari came in, put 2 hands out to block the football, blocked it off of Jim Miller's foot, and then instinctively drew his arms back to the middle of his body and went running into the end zone with the football. I don't think anybody even knew where it was. The evidence that Bellinghari had it was the fact that you couldn't see the football. But you couldn't see it, and the Jimmies score on special teams.
Ezra Bellingary, a senior, playing his final game for this program. Absolutely a one-man wrecking crew today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just amazing.
Has a pick, could have had a second pick. Got hurt in the game, came back, tackled, sack. Now comes up with a block punt and puts the Jimmies on top for the first time today. 22 unanswered points by the University of Jamestown. And Anand Peterson will kick the football away. Short angled end-over-end kick. Colby Jones, the 21-yard line, trying to get back to the middle of the football field. Here's a flag. Here's another. That'll be holding or a block in the back. Jones will be hit at the 30-yard line and dragged down on the Viking sideline. There are 3 penalty markers down. And we did see one of the Jimmies take a shot in the back and go flying. And I believe a block in the back could have set the Vikings up probably somewhere around their 18-yard line.
If you're Valley City State right now, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is there is no momentum on the far side. The good news is you are one solid drive away from the lead.
Let's go down to the sideline while they adjudicate the penalty. Jaden Babiak. Jaden?
I'll tell you what, guys, if you can hear me down there, that'd be up there rather. That'd be pretty good because it's loud down here. The energy of both sidelines is flipped. A bit of a sense of urgency on the Viking sideline. No panic setting in yet, but it's going to be a really tight finish here in what could be the final paint bucket for a little while.
They're adjudicating the penalties. We have a block in the back that was declined. The penalty that was accepted was a crackback block against Valley City State. So the ball will go back to the 15-yard line, and the Vikings will look at 1st and 10 from their own 15. 22-17 your score. The Vikings with a 5-point deficit to the University of Jamestown. Chambers out of the shotgun. Dropping back, taking a look downfield. Throwing. He's got Nick Mears up at the 30, who takes a whack but holds onto the football. It'll be a pickup of 15. Kyle Williams with a stop. And the Vikings with Nick Mears getting active in the middle of the field, come up with their first offensive spark in a while. It's 1st and 10 Valley City State.
That's been the answer today for the Vikings, the middle of the football field. If all else fails, look between the hashes.
Second down, actually 1st and 10 rather, for the Vikings. Back to 4 receivers again. Noah Chambers remains the guy for Valley City State. Clock down to 10 seconds on the play clock. Chambers takes the snap, gives to Legarius Marshall, juking and jiving, and runs his way out to the 33 for a gain of 3. Damian Otero, Mason Parker, maybe Ezra Bellingary. Bellingary coming out of there. Ezra's been involved. There is the one good thing about the Paint Bucket series coming to an end is that the Vikings won't have to look at number 17 in orange and black again. He has been just unbelievable in this series. It's been fun to watch him, even as the guy who usually calls the games for the opposition, but Bellingary's played just solid minutes. 2nd and 7. Chambers out of the shotgun. Legarius Marshall behind him in the pistol. Chambers pressured again, sacked again, back at the 23. A host of men. Tyler Dean, that's going to be a 3rd sack for Tyler Dean today. Dan Erlinson gets part of it, and I believe we saw a reserve in there as well. Terrence Capon coming up with part of that as well. A redshirt freshman linebacker out of Detroit, Michigan. And here comes 3rd down and 17 for the Vikings back at the 23. Remember at halftime when we mentioned that the Jimmies did not have a man with more than 1 sack this season? This defensive line has come to roll. 3rd and 17, and the Jimmies are thinking about knocking the Vikings out of the football game. Shotgun snap for Chambers. Got time. Looking downfield. Jake Deutsch, and he had his hands on it, couldn't hold it. At the 42 of the Jimmies, Spencer Russell coming over the top to come up with a knockaway. Deutsch was looking for a penalty marker, didn't get it, and the Vikings are going to have to kick the football.
For VCSU right now, this feels like an avalanche just hit them.
Yeah, it should. That's the way it should feel at this point. Just, 2 first downs in the second half and 1 solid play, although Jake Deutsch was open on that play, and the Vikings hold their team on the far sideline for a bit before they send them back out. Only 10 seconds left on the play clock. I don't know if the Vikings were truly thinking about going for it here. Clock down to 4, down to 3. They're not going to get this off. No timeout taken either. Flags out for delay. I'm not sure what took the Viking punt team so long to assemble themselves, but they really took a while to come off the sideline.
I mean, I don't think they were considering going for 4th down and 17.
I don't know if they were missing a man. I mean, even if you're missing a man, you think you bring the rest of the unit out. You certainly don't give up the 5, but nonetheless, 4th down 21. Jim Miller will punt a little deeper. Miller puts the leg into one beautiful spiraling kick. This is up and over the return man for the Jimmies, Isaiah Roebuck, and rolls back to the Jimmie 25. 11:52 to play in the fourth quarter. The Vikings down 5. The Jimmies get the football.
57-yard punt. I mean, beauty. It's a law of averages for a reason, right?
Well, the wind is definitely becoming a factor now. The Vikings have a wind that is going to be in effect here in the fourth quarter. At the beginning of the game, the breeze was negligible, but we've seen that wind sort of steadily increase out of the south throughout the course today. The sun is gone. The clouds have come in, so we've had every season that we could have today as well, and now probably a little chillier, a little darker out there, but the Jimmies get the football back. John Grand with 4 receivers sets up 1st and 10 at his own 27. Play action, he wants to throw. Looking deep again. Throwing downfield again, and more flags. Oh, he caught it, and there's a flag down anyway. This pass may have been caught by the University of Jamestown. Erastus Ancino. We'll see if it's caught. He was reaching back. They're going to rule it a catch. There's a flag down for pass interference anyway, but the ball's right back at the Viking 31-yard line. It looks like they're going to rule that a catch. And you take a look at Bellingheri's play a couple of moments ago on the block punt, you have no idea how Encino even caught that football.
Into the wind with that throw down the field for John Grand, a 45-yard completion. Wow.
1st and 10 for the Jimmies back at the Vikings 31-yard line. The defense is absolutely gassed for the Vikings right now. The Jimmies are in prime position. Pair of receivers go to the right side of the football field. The lights now come on here at Hanson Stadium. Carlos Julian's in the pistol with John Grant. Grant will shift a pair of tight ends to his left. Takes the snap, gives to Carlos Julian. A flag is down. Julian getting outside the numbers. He's on his way to the house, to the 5, and dropped the football. And the football picked up by Khalil Toney. I believe they're ruling Julian was out of bounds back at the 12, but there's a flag down back at the Viking 34, and this may go against the Jimmies. So you've got a holding penalty against the Jimmies back at the 34. It'll be Gus Hansleben that gets called for it. You have that. You have Julian out of bounds at the 12, but he kept running. Then the ball came out, was recovered by Khalil Toney in the end zone.
That thing we said in pregame about a little bit of everything, we're starting to get to that stage of the game, a little bit of everything.
We're running out of stuff, really we are. I don't know. The final 11 minutes of this one's going to be pure adrenaline. 4 receivers, twins each way. Now 1st down and 20 for the Jimmies back at the Viking 41. Brand takes the snap. Hammett up the middle. Nowhere. He's swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. I believe it was Loke Yese that comes up with a stop for the Vikings. A little help from Tequez Chapman. Getting ready to go to the sideline. Jaden Babiak on the sideline. Jaden?
Guys, after the big catch, Erastus Ancino on the sideline here, getting tended to by the training staff. Trying to go back and forth from sideline to sideline to get the best for both of you guys up there.
Thank you very much. Jaden's done the best here today on the sideline. And as we mentioned, Ancino getting some training work. He's on the trainer's table right now. And could be a cramp they're trying to stretch out there, but it looks like they're tending to a knee. 2nd down and 20. Clock with 10:18 to play and running here in the fourth quarter. Vikings trailing 22-17 to the Jimmies. John Grand, play action onto the shotgun. Wants to step up in the pocket. Looking to run with the football. Clipped as he got to the 39. It's a gain of 3. And the stop is made for the Vikings by number 17, Sal Soto, who has been in and out of the lineup as a reserve throughout the course of the season and has played more as of late due to some injury issues in that linebacker core. Levi Olson is not in the game right now for the Vikings, their middle linebacker, and that's a problem. The Vikings have 61 tackles from Levi Olson this season, so that's a noticeable absence. Here comes 3rd down and 18. Maybe 4-down territory for the Jimmies, depending upon what they get here, if they get anything. 4 receivers, 3 to the right. Grant out of the shotgun with Carlos Julian to his left. Grant takes the snap, dropping back, throwing quickly. Pass is caught right side. Hoffman steps out of bounds around the Vikings 31. It'll bring up 4th and 10, and that play likely gives the Jimmie offense another snap. If they don't pick up anything there, they may think about an angled punt. But here at the 31, it's a 50-50 deal. You might as well keep the offense on the field.
Yes, because you're kicking into the wind, and this would be a full 10 yards more than Peterson's career best. So no way. You got to go for it. Although, and I think that's what's happening, you take the clock all the way down and then call a timeout.
Sure. Play the clock game here on 4th down and 10. Clock down to 5. And this is going to run the clock down to about 8:45 to go. That's where the timeout comes. And so we'll take a timeout as well. Timeout brought to you today by Hillerud Construction in Jamestown and Mobility Plus Rehabilitation in Valley City. On the Gun and Reel Sports and LaRue Lacro Financial scoreboard, it's the Jimmie's 22, the Vikings 17. More Viking and Jimmie football next.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lacro Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Jimmie's 22, Vikings 17 with 8 minutes 45 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter from Hanson Stadium. The Vikings vaulted out to a 17-0 lead, 22 unanswered for the University of Jamestown, including a blocked punt touchdown for Ezra Bellieri. And on 4th and 10, the Jimmies call for timeout from the Viking 31, and the Jimmies will run their offense back on the field after in-depth discussions along the Jimmie sideline. So here's 4th and 10. John Grand from the 31 takes the snap, dropping back, wants to throw. Throwing near side of the field, pass, caught at the 9-yard line. Leaping back to make the grab is Colton Schumacher. It'll be 1st and goal for the University of Jamestown, a pickup of 13 yards. Correction, 20, no, I'm sorry.
There is
23 yards.
There is nothing more that Tony can do. He's got good coverage, and the throw is to the wrong shoulder. Schumacher spins around, makes the catch like George Pickens last weekend in the NFL, and first down at the 13-yard line.
That's the stop the Vikings needed. You go down 2 scores here if you're Valley City State. That's Katie Barr at the door. It's 8 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 4 receivers. John Grand waiting for a snap, gives to Zach Hammett. Hammett making cuts over the middle of the field and run down from behind as he got to the Viking 4-yard line. Gavin Gerhardt, more fisticuffs after the play. And another penalty coming up against the Vikings. That'll be a personal foul. It's going to be 1st and goal against UJ. Levi Olson trying to lobby that it should go against the Jimmies.
I don't blame Valley City State one bit for being frustrated, but I don't think you want to get a penalty right here.
We don't want that penalty. Let's see what we got here. Dead ball personal foul against the Vikings. It's going to go against Mosiah Rogers-Tavau. And the damage there, it's not the yardage, it's the down. They're going to move it to the 2.5-yard line, but it's an automatic first down. So the Jimmies now looking at 1st and goal from the Viking 2.5. Those are penalties that you can't afford to take, and earlier the Jimmies were taking penalties they couldn't. Now the Vikings are taking penalties they can.
Tight formation.
Back to the eye with 2 tight ends, and under center John Grant himself on the tush, driving, end zone, waiting, touchdown, University of Jamestown. The lead will make it 11. It'll be a 28-17 lead for the University of Jamestown as John Grand gets into the end zone from 2 yards out. And we'll see the Jimmies looking for an extra point, which is critical. Right now, still a 2-score game at 28. Never would be anyway, but right now, 2-point conversion field goal would tie it. This forces the Vikings to put it into the end zone twice with 7:32 to go. Anand Peterson snaps on the ground again and blocked by the Vikings. The ball's free out on the far side of the football field and will be recovered by the Vikings as a mouth guard comes out, and the Vikings are tackled in the end zone. UJ wants a safety, and they may get it.
This could be a 1-point safety.
It depends upon whether or not the Vikings are credited for forward progress on recovering the ball outside of the end zone. They're not indicating safety as of yet. The officials will converse about the result of this play.
A moment ago,
Jaden Babiak has something for us. Jaden?
Guys, frustration setting in on that Valley City State sideline. Obviously, a unsportsmanlike penalty for Mosiah Rogers Taval leads to a touchdown. Valley City going to need to find that offensive rhythm they had in the first half. Jamestown, the better adjusted team after halftime.
Thank you, Jaden. And they're going to come together after the ruling. The officials will tell us what they've come up with after the blocked punt, blocked extra point.
By the kick, no kick, no good, cleared.
Well, I think that our referee might be on the Verizon every other word plan, because I didn't hear all of that. But what I did see is that the extra point is no good. There will be no further scoring, and it'll be an 11-point lead.
Well, and look, I know it's 28-17. But with the way that this is going, it probably feels like Valley City State, at least on the opposite sideline, it probably feels to them like they're down by 30 points.
Well, the second half, they're down by 28, right? I mean, they were up 17-0. They gave up a touchdown just before half, but 28 unanswered makes you feel like you're down by 30. And it's a two-score game for the moment, but the math against you is 7:32 to go. The Vikings will get the football back, but more importantly, they've had very little offense to show for their second half effort today. We'll see what could possibly change that here. Annan Peterson, short kickoff again. Colby Jones, the 25. Setting up middle return. Jones trying to stretch to the far side of the field, then put the head down, the ball's out. And there's a scramble on for the football, and UJ says they have it. And if they do, that might just be the ball game. The Jimmies come out of the pile. Another special teams play where the ball is recovered by the University of Jamestown. I believe that's going to be number 54, Gunnar Stevens, the linebacker from Gregory, South Dakota. Jimmie football, the Viking 37 with 7:22 to go. And UJ has a chance to win it on this possession.
Ryan, I have done several games, not every game. There has not been one for UJ that has felt this way. Just every single thing that can possibly go their way is going their way.
Yeah, and a self-destructive second half as well for Valley City State to a large measure. 4 receivers for the Jimmies. 1st and 10 from the Viking 37. Carlos Julian up the middle, and a flag is down as Julian spins forward. Got up to the 30, the 29, the 28, but a flag down back behind the play, and it looks like the Jimmies are going to be flagged for holding. And they will. Well, the holding call will go against Matt Spurlin. Interestingly enough, that was called by the referee as well behind the play, and under normal circumstances, if it's a holding call against the center or the guard, that would be flagged by the umpire, who did not see it. Ball's going to go back 10 yards, and Carlos Julian is down on the turf with an injury.
He's cramped up, I think, is what happened there. But just talking about the vicious turn in this game, 11 yards of offense for Valley City State after halftime.
The defensive line is the difference. For the University of Jamestown, we can talk all we want to about the effectiveness of the Jimmie offense, but let's instead talk about the number of opportunities they've had because the Vikings haven't had them, and that's the defensive line. They've sacked Noah Chambers, I think, 3 times. They've limited the running game. There's been nothing there offensively, and when the ball repeatedly comes back to you, you can have some extra shots at those deep throws, but the Vikings haven't sustained a drive like they did in the second quarter when they went up 17-0.
209 yards for Jamestown in the second half.
Yep. But again, a lot of that I credit to the defensive line of the University of Jamestown. They have been the unit that has turned the football game around today, in my opinion anyway. Back at the Viking 47 after the mark off of the hold. It's 1st down and 20 for UJ. I wouldn't expect them to do anything but run the football at this point. Hammett will get it. Hammett kind of moving and shaking, and then broke away to the outside. Made another man miss. Another flag is down. That's back at the 41. But it's worth mentioning these penalties hurt the Vikings as much as the Jimmies. Another holding penalty. They'll take another snap and run another 40 seconds off the clock.
That's exactly right.
Holding penalty against UJ. And the thing about it is, you know, holding penalties don't count for more yardage if you think they're intentional. They're a holding penalty, right? So they're going to mark this back, it looks like, to the line of scrimmage where it was. They'll say that that holding penalty took place downfield, or are they going to mark it back now? Yeah, now they will.
Yeah, it was 7 yards downfield against Isaiah Roebuck.
No, it wasn't. The umpire doesn't know where to put the football.
Well, we think it was 7 yards down the field.
Okay.
When you said a moment ago that we've seen almost everything, we are really treading that line.
We got a checklist. We're not there yet. First and 23 for the Jimmies at midfield. Right at the 50. 4 receivers. Hammett again. Up the middle of the field. Shedding blocks. Ahead. Got ahead of the 45. Down to the 43. Maybe the 42. Gain of 8. And second down coming up for the Jimmies and 14 with the clock down to 6:20 to go.
If there's anything those listening on 107.1 know, it's that we have certainly, in this season, not seen everything.
Well, not yet. Yeah, but
it's been one of those years.
What's left? What, I mean, I haven't seen a safety yet this year. We came close. We haven't seen one.
I've seen a 2-point return on a blocked extra point.
That's pretty close.
We almost saw a 1-point safety. That would have maybe.
The checklist doesn't have much left on it, right? Second down and 14 for the Jimmies. They'll give it to Hammett again. Stretch play to the near side of the football field. Found a hole to run through and makes his way down to the 30. It'll be to the 31. That is going to be a pickup of 12 yards for Zach Hammett. Khalil Tony making the stop. James Don has not returned to the game for Valley City State. We thought it was a cramp. It was more than that. And right now, they've come right after Khalil Tony, both running and passing. Here comes third down and 4. If you don't get the stop here, there's really not much of a path left for the Vikings to try to get back into the game. This is a big third down play.
So, at halftime, Jamestown had 12 rushing yards. They now have 66.
Yeah, they're owning it. And the line of scrimmage, the reason why. They're getting into this Viking defensive line. That being said, the defensive line for the Vikings has been on the field a lot here. Julian on third down trying to bounce outside. And one more big play from Malachi Torres out of the linebacker core to bring him down back at the 31 for a negative play. They're going to spot the ball back near the 33, it would appear. Called the 32. Here comes 4th and 5. And I would guess the Jimmy's going to use another timeout. Clock at 4:40, 24 on the play clock. Why not run it down and run another 4th down play?
I'm a little surprised that Coach McCulloch's not calling a timeout to preserve time because, as you mentioned, it's a field goal, a touchdown, and a 2-point try.
Yeah, he wants all 3 timeouts for that second offensive possession. That's kind of what he's looking at here. And the Jimmies are going to give him a timeout here anyway. So with 4:17 to go, Jimmy's called for timeout. Brian Mispro wants to meet with his team. Let's go to Jaden Babiak, who's standing behind the Jimmy sideline. Jaden?
Brian and BJ, a lot of differences on each sidelines. The fans are rowdy down here in Jamestown. They can feel the wind, but there's still work to do. Big 4th down here. The fans are getting after me a little bit, too. It's a fun one down here, Ryan. It's going to be a good finish here. Avery Thorsgaard on the Valley City sideline talking about adversity. They need to battle adversity.
All right, thank you very much, Jaden. So what's interesting to note, folks, is throughout the course of the game, a handful of Jimmy fans, I believe students, have accumulated and begun to stand right in front of where Jaden Babiak's reporting area is today, and Jaden says he's now getting a bad time from them. Now, it's worth mentioning, Jaden's a Viking athlete. There might be some people that know him down there. He'll be seeing some Jimmies in the spring. A little baseball. Tom Hager is here, the head coach of the Jimmy baseball team. He's probably watching Jaden get some airtime today. Wondering what he's got to do to get his second baseman some airtime, right? Something like that?
Probably, yeah.
4th down and 5.
You have to escape a burning building.
No doubt. He's had some adversity, Jaden has. 4th and 5 for the Jimmies, a must-have play for the Viking defense. Grand drops back, throws, and it's incomplete. So, no flags. The Vikings get it back at their own 32. With 4:12 to go and an 11-point deficit at 28-17, the Vikings need a big play to try to give themselves a chance using those timeouts. You've got to score quickly if you're going to try to get back in the football game, and we'll see how they go about doing it. Noah Chambers is back on the field.
I still think it has to be between the hashes in the middle of the field.
Been there. 4 receivers for the Vikings on 1st down and 10. They've got to protect for Noah Chambers, though. He's been on the turf a lot in the second half. Chambers will throw near side. Nick Mears a catch down at the 41. That's a nice start. 8-yard pickup for Nick Mears. The stop from Parker Chapey, and the Vikings in hurry up. They'll run back to the middle of the field. It's 2nd down and 2. The Vikings trying to reset their offense. 4 receivers again. Chambers calling out the spots, takes the shotgun snap. It floats back to him, but he's got it. He'll roll away from pressure. Looking downfield, now going to run with the football. Steps out of bounds at the 46.
They are only rushing 3 and dropping 8 now, the University of Jamestown. So that does not leave a lot open down the field for Chambers.
Absolutely. So Chambers takes what he can get, which is the ball to the 46-yard line. First and 10 Vikings, 28-17 your score. Jimmie's on the Gun and Reel Sport and LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Jimmy Crowd trying to get back into it. Clock at 3.5 to go. Chambers the snap. Another 3-man rush. Throw left side. Xavier Westbrook trying to spin away from contact. Forward progress to the 50. Ezra Bellieri. Another play. He's made several for the Jimmies. It's 2nd and 6. Vikings back to the midfield stripe. They'll send 3 receivers to the near edge. Jake Deutsch, who has not caught the football today, wide to the far side of the field, and 2nd down and 6. Clock to 3 minutes to go. Chambers dropping back, throwing middle. Ball batted up in the air, and it's picked off by the Jimmies on a ball that was batted high in the air and comes down to the Jimmie 48. This will be taken away by UJ's Mason Parker, and the Jimmies appear to have done enough to claim the paint bucket.
Just about as vicious a 180 in a football game as you can possibly have in Jamestown this afternoon.
They came to play in the second half. They put the Vikings in some tough spots, and the Vikings just didn't have an opportunity to stand up to it. Now, the Vikings have all 3 timeouts left. They will likely use them here if they can get any sort of negative plays against the University of Jamestown with 2:53 to go. Another takeaway by the Jimmie defense. John Grant out of the shotgun. He'll turn and give to Carlos Julian. Right side, Julian takes a pop on that play from Aiden Russell. Lunges forward to the 49. The Vikings will call for timeout. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for UJ. So you run the math here. If you are able to get a stop, if you're the Vikings, you use all your timeouts here. You can force a punt, let's say around the 2.5-minute mark, right? Then, if you are able to get downfield and score using the 2-minute timeout to your advantage, if you're able to get down the field and score, it really then comes down to an onside kick. So that's your path. But, BJ, we talk about that being a path, and it's a path, but based on what's gone on with the Viking offense today, it's a path that zigs left, zigs right, winds around, comes back on itself, has 6 boulders and a fallen tree in front of it. It's a path, but you wonder how you get the first one on the board, right?
I mean, they've only had, 3 first downs in the entire second half. Yeah. I mean, that's why the path, while it is there, it does not probably seem as though it is there. And here, this is the formation that they used against Dickinson State to great success. Box to one side, single receiver to the other side, nobody in the backfield with John Grant.
4 receivers near side of the field, has a read of a screen. Now they're going to bring a 5th that way, and it's a jet sweep look for Isaiah Roebuck with a flag down. 2 flags, 3 flags. Oh, man. The laundry's going to need doing. Jaden Babiak's on our sideline. Let's get a report from Jaden. Jaden?
Guys, still all business here on the Jamestown sideline. No one's celebrating just yet. Obviously up 2 scores. Still some work to do here on the Jamestown sideline, but as time expires, it's looking dire for Valley City State.
Thank you very much, Jaden Babiak. They're adjudicating the penalty. The Vikings going to take the yardage here.
And again, this goes back to the same thing we talked about the last drive. It is an extra snap now for UJ.
We'll see when they started. Did the ball go out of bounds or not? The Vikings, Dennis McCulloch pacing the far sideline. They're going to wind the clock here. Of course, it's only a 25-second play clock on the restart, so the Vikings feel like they can force another snap here. It's still the 2-minute timeout they're angling toward anyway. 2nd down, 17 from the Jimmie 41. 3 receivers to the right. John Grand more than happy to stand tall behind the line of scrimmage and watch the play clock dwindle. Grand will take the snap, gives it away, takes it back on the zone read. Grand running right side of the field, has 2 blockers in front of him, and Loke Yese escorts him to the ground. Vikings not calling timeout here. So they're going to use the 2-minute timeout.
Makes sense.
So that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. The Jimmie's on the cusp of claiming the paint bucket and taking it back to Jamestown for a long time with 2:02. Did the Vikings call timeout?
If they waited till 2:02 and then called a timeout,
or did the Jimmies call timeout?
Why would you wait to 2:02 to call it? That is awfully odd.
They took one off the board against the Vikings here with 2:02 to go.
So why not just take it with the 2:13 on the clock?
Puzzling.
Wow.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm sure, you know, with the 2-minute rules, they've been doing a lot of game clock resets, right? So maybe it doesn't make any difference. You get one more snap, force the third down snap before the 2-minute timeout, and then they reset it for whatever reason. So we'll see. That one's a little mystifying, but nonetheless, the officials get together. We have a timeout. We have a timeout for Hillerud Construction and also for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. So here comes 3rd and 7. And out of the timeout, which was a confusing situation. I'm sure there'll be a reason why. We'll watch what the clock does after this play, but the math sort of escapes me on that. John Grant out of the shotgun. Pair of receivers, one to each side. He's going to send Powell out, the tight end near side as well. 4-man rush from the Vikings. They throw middle. Powell has it, and Malachi Torres will bring him down. And the Vikings will use their final timeout to bring up 4th down.
The 2-minute timeout?
Yeah, it'll be the 2-minute timeout. Yep. Yeah, correction. Yeah, they're not going to use it'll be the 2-minute timeout here. So clock will stop with 1:56 to go. And it's going to come down for the Vikings. You've got to put one in the house and then try the onside kick and see what happens there if you get the ball back. And I'm not really sure what the Jimmies are going to try to do here. If I'm Coach Mistro,
you would.
I'm salivating, aren't I? I mean, yeah. It's at the 44, and if you punt, the odds of winning are already here, and if you punt, they go up a little bit.
Sure.
Right? I mean, so there's that.
But if you convert it, it's over.
Well, you have a chance to decisively end this with your team holding the football.
Yeah.
And that's a great moment at the end of a regular season that just didn't go well. And, you know, a lot of things that are going to be happening coming up with the move to the NSIC. Do you give your players that moment? But he's going to opt against it. Brooks Butt is going to come out and punt. The other part of it, too, is that, you know, in this situation, you've had a botched snap already once. I mean, there's some bad things that can happen when you choose to kick it. It's a 50-50 call. He's choosing to punt it. Brooks Butt will kick the football, and the kick low, moving. Oh, did that hit a Viking? It's recovered by the Jimmies. They're going to say it didn't hit the Viking. It took one of those dead hops off the turf and came back right around the Viking ankle. So 1:46 to go. Viking offense comes onto the field from their own 21. You know, it's been a long, frustrating season for Valley City State as well. And when you go back and you take a look through, you've got the game at Dakota State where you're inside the 10 3 times, a missed field goal and 2 picks, and you don't score points there. And this second half kind of a microcosm of what they've gone through throughout the year as well. From the 21, Noah Chambers, 1st and 10. Jimmie's blitz. Chambers in trouble. And sacked back at the 15-yard line. Another sack for the Jimmies here in the second half. Jed Rance comes off the linebacker blitz, and it's 2nd and 15. 1:30 to go. There's just no place to throw the football right now for Noah Chambers. 4 receivers, and a timeout may have been taken here by the University of Jamestown.
They had guys running on and off the field, and the reason that they were in scramble mode is Valley City State did not substitute, so they did not have the right, so to speak, to be able to match anything. They were just trying to get different packages onto the field, and so Coach Mistro takes the timeout.
So we'll have a timeout, and we'll get ready for the final minute, 24 seconds. Normally we talk about what's coming up next, but I have to admit, I didn't really look ahead, to tell you the truth. We'll be back, our video streaming for KOVC, back with Viking men's basketball coming up a week from today. They play Dakota Wesleyan. Viking men's basketball team, 5-0 start, best start in 20 years. The Jimmies will be moving to the national tournament volleyball, waiting to see what their fate will be. Chambers throwing, Nick Mears over the middle, caught, and Mears up for a first down to the 32. Vikings out of timeout. So they have one timeout remaining. They want to hurry here.
Jimmie women's basketball at home against Minot Tuesday. Jimmie's men's basketball in Minot Wednesday.
First down of 10, yes, for the Vikings at the 32. Chambers takes the snap against the three-man rush, throwing far sideline. And Dom Sotomayor makes a diving catch on the far side of the field, gets out of bounds at the 38 for the Vikings with 1:05 to go.
And then, we'll find out. We're pretty sure UJ is going to host in the national tournament, but we'll see who's coming to Jamestown.
Yeah, right. That's kind of the thing. It may end up being Dakota State again, which would be odd, wouldn't it? Second down and 4, another blitz from UJ, this time picked up. Chambers throwing over the middle. And he's got Dom Sotomayor again up ahead of the 45. That's the first down. Ezra Bellinghari padding his day with another stop. And the Vikings now with 58 seconds get back to the line of scrimmage.
If you get about 20 yards, do you go ahead and kick the field goal first?
You might. You need as much time as you can after the onside kick. 4 receivers. Chambers looking, steps up in the pocket. Going to throw middle of the field looking for Jake Deutsch, and Deutsch can't find it. Here comes a flag.
Yep, that's a good call against Spencer Russell. He doesn't use his hands, but he kind of gets the lower body into Deutsch a little bit.
Well, to your point now, that's going to put the ball at the 40. And if you gain another 20 yards to get a high percentage field goal for Evan Lorenzo, you could take one play and try to put a score on the board, and that would still give you about a half a minute if you recover an onside kick. So that's something.
I know a lot of coaches are so focused on the touchdown, they don't consider the field goal, but you need both no matter what.
They've thought it through. They know what they need. Without the field goal, you don't tie the football game anyway. First and 10 from the Jimmie 40. Chambers looking, going to throw middle of the field. Jake Deutsch can't make the catch.
Nearly intercepted by Kyle Williams off a deflection from Spencer Russell.
And here comes a flag on the end of that play.
Oh, goodness gracious.
There were about 6 Jimmies in the vicinity, 1 Viking. The Viking was Jake Deutsch.
If this is against the Jimmies, they are in field goal
that puts it, put it at the 25-yard line. If you're the Vikings, you run the field goal unit out right now.
That's what
they're doing. They're going to call in sportsmanlike conduct against the University of Jamestown.
I think you kick it right now.
It's a 42-yard field goal right now if you're the Vikings.
With the win.
The Vikings looking to keep the offense on the field at least for the moment. 40 seconds left. 28-17 Jimmie. Vikings need 11 points. They're at the Jimmie 25. Chambers takes the snap, stepping up, ball deflected the line of scrimmage. Ezra Bellinghari, number 17, over and over and over again. A blocked punt that he recovered off the foot of Jim Miller in the air. No, there was no, the ball did not hit the ground. He just scooped it off of Jim Miller's foot. An interception, nearly another interception, a quarterback sack. There's a deflection.
Might be the NSAA Defensive Player of the Week, folks.
He ought to be. Second and 10. Chambers dropping back against a blitz, throws the pass incomplete.
And a good thing it was incomplete because the clock would have kept running.
Yeah, the clock would have been running there. Pass was intended on the far side of the field for Ishmael Jones, a junior tight end out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Austin Richter was lost earlier in the game. Big athletic tight end for the Vikings after a play down the middle. Here's third down. And the Vikings looking to pull themselves together with 17 seconds on the play clock. 28-17, Jimmie crowd coming to life again. 4 receivers, 3 left. Chambers dropping back, throws middle of the field, incomplete for Xavier Westbrook.
Now you might as well kick it.
Fourth down. Yep, here they come. So this is to keep the game alive for the Vikings. The field goal unit will come on. Should the Vikings convert the field goal, they would have to recover an onside kick and go seemingly 55 yards in 28 seconds of the timeout. From 42, Lorenzo's kick is on the way, and he missed it wide left. Correction, wide right, and that's going to be the football game. The University of Jamestown will avenge an earlier season loss. The University of Jamestown will improve their overall record to 3-7. The Vikings will fall to 3-7. And the Jimmies will take possession of the traveling trophy known as the Paint Bucket. And they will hold it until some date unknown in the future. on a terrific second half by the defensive line, and John Grand finding gouge plays against Valley City State, including a tremendous catch by Colton Schumacher back in the first half, and the block punt by Ezra Bellingheri. John Grand takes a knee. And the clock running. There is no need to take another snap. They'll ask for a play clock reset, which they get, but there's only 10 seconds left. And the Vikings will move to their sideline. The Jimmies will move to theirs. And the University of Jamestown celebrates the win over Valley City State University today. Your final score on the Hillerud on the Gunner Reel Sports and LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard today.